I did not work out. Fast forward a couple years later, I'm working for a major electronics retailer. I did it the American way. I worked my way up.
So a woman yelled racial slurs at a 2-year-old autistic child. I haven't seen the video, but supposedly there's a video out there. There's no question as to whether or not she actually did this. She then felt under threat because people knew what her face looked like and that she's a racist. So she put up a GoFundMe, not a GoFundMe, but and it is getting a lot of money. If you go to it every few minutes, people are donating $10, $20. She has $750,000. She will be a millionaire because she's not the one donating, right? There are hundreds of thousands of either white supremacist racists or people trying to make people look like white supremacist racists. Both fucking and. Bots trying to divide America, and actually America's fucking divided. So is Canada. Let's just play the clip, although she's going to tell you how to take down the GoFundMe. He's already, I put the link in, he's in the thumbnail for a fucking reason. The people at Give, Send, Go, whatever it's called, don't want to play sides. They don't want to pick sides between an autistic 2-year-old child who's called the N-word and a grown-ass woman who's crying about having called a child the N-word and now facing the consequences to her actions. But it's the hundreds of thousands of people who are donating to her platform, donating to it, and the idiot in charge who's like, we can't pick sides, who are here.
Right now, profiting off of the fact that she committed a hate crime against a black... There's a woman who is right now profiting off of the fact that she committed a hate crime against a black autistic toddler, and I urgently need your help right now stopping her before she becomes a literal millionaire off of this. I'm referring to this woman who was recently featured in a video by Tizzy Ent, showing her attacking a black autistic toddler on a playground after this toddler apparently took one of her child's toys, and rather than handle it like a calm adult would when faced with developmentally appropriate behavior from a child, she instead chose to verbally attack the child repeatedly, calling him the N-word with a hard R, and also was in the process of attempting to physically attack him when luckily another dad that was at the park saw what was happening, intervened, and began recording her. Even after she realized she was being recorded, she had no problem continuing the hate crime, repeatedly calling the child, again, knowing that she was being filmed, the N-word with a hard ER. After Tizzy's video went viral, this woman actually identified herself online as Shiloh Hendricks when she subsequently posted a fundraiser for herself on Give, Send, Go, ostensibly for the purpose of helping protect her family because she might need to relocate due to threats she's receiving. First of all, I think she's completely full of it. I don't think that she's actually getting credible threats. And also, speaking as a content creator on the left, welcome to the internet, sweetheart. I get those sorts of threats literally every single day of my life. After Nick Fuentes featured her fundraiser on his stream, all of his little acolytes trotted on over and began donating, and she has now increased the goal to $1 million and had already hit nearly $500,000 as of Friday evening. And here's the thing, Give, Send, Go is notoriously difficult to get to take down a fundraiser. There's a reason why the far right uses them instead of GoFundMe when they are fundraising for their most reprehensible people. Give, Send, Go, who purports to be spreading the hope of Jesus Christ through crowdsourcing, makes a big show about how they are all about free speech, and they say they will not take down a fundraising page unless it is actively promoting an illegal or violent act. And obviously, Shiloh was smart enough to not literally put up a page that says, hey, pay me for committing a hate crime. Unfortunately, a lot of her donors to the page were not quite as smart, and the comments that they left attached to their donations make it very clear what the explicit purpose of their donations were, and I think give us an opening to get this page taken down before Shiloh profits off of it. I'm obviously going to have to blur out some of the comments because otherwise this video would get taken down. However, every single comment that I screenshotted was filled with dog whistles or, in many cases, just blatant slurs. There are so many comments like this. I mean, come on. The Fear and Eva are proud of you. And again, I want to recognize Give, Send, Go is notoriously difficult to get to take down their fundraising pages. So we do have an uphill climb here. However, I wanted to make it as easy as possible on everyone to help get this shut down before this hateful woman literally becomes a millionaire on the back of attacking a child. Because this is bigger than just one hateful bigot becoming rich off of their bigotry. If this woman succeeds, if this woman becomes a literal millionaire because of all of these racists,
she already has succeeded. Whether or not that fundraiser is taken down, there are hundreds of thousands of people who, instead of saying, gee, you need fucking therapy, lady, you need something that's not going to have you taking out all of your fucking vileness on a 2-year-old black boy publicly for everyone to see. But she is the millionaire or not. Shiloh Hendricks' face is known. She will be known as the racist, and we and the leader of whatever the fuck that platform is should be the face of they're now millionaires. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to know you? But all of the ridiculous social media support, because all publicity is good publicity. There are enough people out there willing to put their 10, 20, 50 bucks that they don't even have towards a fucking racist. That is the world America is right now. There are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people who are willing to commit acts of violence against another group of people. And the pendulum swung way too fucking far one way. The pendulum I'm on the side of. Pronouns, and we care about everyone's feelings, and we need to, here's the thing, we gave the children of this generation permission to be themselves. And then we made it really fucking unsafe for them to be themselves. And it's the adults who are making it unsafe. The adults with guns and feelings and acts of fucking violence. And this campaign is already lost. I don't, whether she's taken down or not, the fact that there's people willing to put money in shows you who your neighbors are. And black little boys have to deal with the racism that exists, not the racism we wish existed. Our white brothers and sisters going to church every Sunday are racist as fucking fuck. They care more than I'm saying fucking fuck than that a woman assaulted a little boy on a playground. And they're using Jesus, right? Who the fuck do you think Jesus would give to on that site? And how can they be competing? Because the other people that are not beyond that site giving money to Give, Send, Go. And the sites, like, I fucking can't. All the social media literacy in this. We need the zero state solution to world peace because the powers that be are creating and living in world war. They've already created it. We're already fucking in it.
Rewarding her for having attacked an autistic toddler. We're going to see more people do this. This will absolutely set a precedence of the worst people in existence intentionally attacking vulnerable, marginalized folks, particularly black folks and immigrants, and then putting up Give, Send, Go pages so that all of the bigots across the nation can pay them for their service. So here's what I need you guys to do. In my bio, you can follow the path. I have created the path, an ink with an L at the beginning.
The Google Doc she has is linked in the description. You can follow it and put in the request for Give, Send, Go to not be racist Christian bigots. They're going to be racist. They're going to be. They would want to pick sides between a fucking racist witch and stop using witch as a slur. Jubilee. Witches are great. I fucking can't. We are going to go quickly to the thing. right? So you can see when she put it up, it was 400. Here's the woman who yelled racial slurs. Remember her face, remember her name. Her name's Shiloh Hendricks. You can give, you can share, you can pray. We'll be praying for you. Someone gave $5. Oh, they're not anonymous. But look at all this, right? Look at the time: 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes. This is right, and she feels so supported, so supported. And the thing is, though, is these poor people who are giving 10, 20, $50 towards racial supremacy of their white folk, probably don't have fucking money. They don't have money to support the next Shiloh. There's some people who are giving 500 a lot of money, right? But the vast majority, when anything gets funded, is a bunch of little tiny amounts, right? Under 100, under 50, hundreds of thousands of people doing. I don't know more than what we have, but like tens of thousands of people doing that. There are tens of thousands of people willing to support her in her blatant racism, willing to put their money towards white supremacy. This is the world we live in. This is the world we're creating a zero-state solution with, because we need to. This is the world we live in. She makes the world unsafe for black people in general, and she's not alone. And the next person who comes about almost certainly won't be able to become a millionaire out of it, but they're absolutely going to be yelling racial slurs at children, thinking, ching, right? I get money out of this. Film me, put me online. Yeah. That's no longer, the pendulum has swung. That's no longer you're going to lose your job. You can scream racial slurs at a child and make $1 million off of it. That's the world we live in. Ali Priestley can go viral with any story she tells that is full of lies. And people believe her because she's white and, you know, her face is symmetrical. No, I don't play there. There's nothing to play, Jubilee. All right. We're going to play a man who is telling his experience of racism in America. If I can find it, because it was here. And then it left. There we go. Both of these that we're watching are Autumn Neverland's reposts. We're going to watch Ali's reposts because they're worrying. And Autumn's not alone, right? A lot of you have been where Autumn was. I've been where Autumn was with Jack. I spent over a year both yelling at Jack and then being like, wait, if I think he's crazy, how am I supposed to be treating him? What would it be like to feel like you're in, or to everyone to think you're crazy? How would you know if you're crazy or not? The video Autumn made at me, right, that's both making fun of the signs and symbols that's, right, like completely out there, and that is how I sound to her, right? It's like, right, but what is the actual significance of Rachel McAdams and Keanu Reeves in the Pope? What are the actual dates? That, like, there's way too many fucking ones for it to be a coincidence, right? I'd be crazy if I didn't see the signs and symbols at this point in time. I need people to understand that. The, like, spreadsheet is chock-a-block full of significant events. I was asked yesterday what was on the spreadsheet, not knowing what was on the spreadsheet, because May 6th does not stand out. And it's Ali Priestley's mom's birthday. She committed war on us. In her stories, it was like, we're going to war on her mom's birthday. And a bunch of other things as well. What was I playing? We're playing some. That it was like this idea that I'm looking crazy, and because I look crazy, I'm dangerous. As opposed to a Priestley, who has an actual history of violence, is threatening violence constantly while she's claiming the victim, is a ticking time bomb waiting to. I hope it's just a smoothie she chucks at somebody. I hope it's just that, because she is escalating, and she thinks I'm escalating. I'm doing the same thing I was before I ever met Ali. I'm creating world peace. Sorry, it's making proof on a computer. Let's watch. I have to listen to all of this just beginning.
They put me on the bus and she told me I was going to a school where I can get a better education and be a part of the American dream. When I got there, I saw a bunch of protesters out there saying, "In, go home, Porch Monkey, Jungle Bunny," and all those different things. I'm trying to figure out to this day, was that when America was great? A few years later, in that same school, a white girl decided that she wanted to spit on me, slap me, and call me the N-word. I hit her back. Next thing I know, I got my head slammed into a chalk rail, and it hurt for a long time. I still have side effects from it. But the thing that was the most important was I was told that day that you never touch a white person. I think back today was America great at that point in time.
I'm just going to interrupt quickly for, I don't give a fuck what this is, right? Play right to offend full video. Does offending the abusive cop take away from the cop's actions? I have literally no idea what you're talking about. We're talking about a white woman who yelled a racial slur at a toddler. People are like, what about these cops? What about these football players? What about this other time it was black on white violence? White bitch be yelling racial slurs at a tiny black boy. That's what we're dealing with. There's no whataboutism. Shiloh is a fucking problem, and her becoming a millionaire off of hate is a problem. So her name's going to be known. Her face is going to be known.
Or was it the time maybe that my mother and I went to a store and we had to change buses? It was cold and snowing, so we decided to walk into this restaurant and get us some hot chocolate and coffee and sit down for a minute until we could see the bus coming. We ordered our coffee and hot chocolate, and the white man made us get out. I'm like, is America great when a man puts a woman and child out in the cold and the snow just because of the color of their skin? I don't think so. I remember when I was standing outside with some friends of mine, we were minding our business on our own block. Police came up, started harassing us, and I said, "Why are you giving us such a hard time?" I got hit in my mouth with a flashlight, knocked out a few of my front teeth. Was America great at that point in my life for me? No. I finally got a black job. My alderman wrote a letter for me, and I got a job at a hospital working as a maintenance mechanic, which I was not qualified for. The guys who I worked with broke my locker and urinated in my boots, and HR did nothing about it. To this day, I wonder if that was the opportunity for America to be great and me finally to get a job based on the color of my skin, but I did not work it out. Fast forward a couple years later, I'm working for a major electronics retailer. I did it the American way. I worked my way up from the bottom to the top. I started at the lowest department in that organization, and I worked my way up to be the best salesperson in the country. I was next on the list to get a store. When my time came up to get a store, I was told it's the right time for the right man at the right job for the right job. That's why you're going to have to pass you because it's not that time. Guess it really didn't matter if you worked hard and did everything that you're supposed to do. A couple of years ago, I was passed over for a promotion by a major mortgage company. The person that they promoted me, they actually had this person on tape saying that he didn't want to go into a restaurant because he didn't want to be around a bunch of N-words. And I asked, I said, why would you promote him over me? And my manager, regional manager, called me and he told me, he said, well, I'm a minority too, so I understand how you feel. I said, first of all, you're Asian, which makes you the preferred minority. I said, when the police lights come on, you don't fear for your life. So let me tell you a couple of quick stories. So I told him one when I was driving my little raggedy Lexus. Police followed me for 2 miles. Sirens went on. I started fearing for my life. But I followed black protocol when you pulled over by the police. I lowered my window down slowly. Police officer came up, unholstered his weapon. I had not done anything threatening. He's got his weapon unholstered and he's got his hand on his gun. He leans in my car and asks me, is this your car? And have you been arrested in the last 12 months? I'm sure he knows this is my car because he's been behind me for the last 2 miles. But anyway, America wasn't great. Then you go to the situation where I was driving my $100,000 plus car. Police saw me, he turned around real quickly. Next thing I know, I got pulled over. Guy said, you were speeding. I said, no, officer, I was not. He said, have you been drinking? I said, sir, I don't drink this early in the morning. He said, step out of the car. I refused. I got my wife on the phone and I had her on speaker, so he knew that she was listening to the conversation. He had already called for 4 additional cars. When they got there, he gave me my ticket. But as he walked away, I could hear him say, that little bitch called his wife, he can't do nothing. I have no idea what that meant. But this just lets me know that America still wasn't great. I'm saying all of this to you people who don't understand what it's like for black people in America. And I can tell you a lot more stories. And I'm sure my grandparents and their parents can tell you stories too, which are probably a lot worse than mine. But the thing is that this house, this America house right now is divided because you have people who are praying for peace and you have people who are preparing for war. And that's what this administration wants because it's corrupt. I'll say this to you, the folks who call themselves MAGA supporters and Christians. You suffer from convenient scripture amnesia. The two scriptures that you seem to forget. One of those scriptures says, how can you love your God in heaven who you've never seen and hate your brother who you see every day? And the other one says, love thy neighbor as thyself. I'm going to continue to pray for America because I do love this country, but there are a lot of things that I do not like about it. Love y'all. Peace.
The difference between so this was yesterday. The last one that sits there. So, while he's awake and on TikTok is the reposts. Will there be stories? Will she be a tornado today? Who knows? Who knows? But she reposted this one last. Peyton happens to be the name of my cousin, now an adult, well into her 20s, which is when I name people. Cousin Peyton, my position in the family, shares Eric's birthday. Also, I happened to give my dad a whale watching tour for one of his birthdays when we were living together. Me and my kid and him all went. I think I get to actually for Father's Day. We went for birthday. So Father's Day June, my dad's birthday is in September. We went I think end of September, beginning of October. I actually don't remember when we went watching. It's maybe on the spreadsheet. I call to make the whale watching, and it's Peyton. I'm like my cousin Peyton. Yeah, like anyway, it's my cousin Peyton. She's the child of my aunt who I had a falling out with around when my child was 2. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna listen to this one, and the other ones they're all directed at us. I wish Allie would just journal and not chuck smoothies at people, but she's a violent person who takes no ownership of any of the actions and all of the consequences of her actions. I don't think she's ever had a consequence. Todd and Georgia just let that one run amok. And when she has interactions with the police, stand up for her. I don't know what that would be like because my parents are the fucking opposite.
Between me and you is that you had to tell my secrets and my business that I trusted you with to make me look bad and embarrass me. Like we all don't have secrets or things that we're not proud that we've done. Like we all haven't made mistakes. You, on the other hand, I don't have to tell your business or your secrets that you trusted me with to make you look bad. I don't have to put in an effort. I just literally tell people what you did to me and the type of person you are to me, and that speaks for itself.
No, Allie, that's what I'm doing here, right? Telling my story, also telling people's stories because I'm giving my opinion, right? But like, what you actually did to me, what's actually on your TikTok that you paid a week and a day ago to go viral. The day you called the Vancouver police on me again, after a year ago, you ran a year-long smear campaign and had me committed to a psych ward for 3 weeks based on Allie Priestley's tantrum. Police called in tantrum. She decided to have another tantrum publicly on TikTok and claim I'm doing that, right? I have people showing up, hey, are you okay? How's your online content? How about you fucking ask for a link to what I'm actually, am I swearing? Yeah, I swear in my fucking appointments, right? I don't care. This helps my nervous system regulate at the moment. I probably won't when I actually have a village. I try not to swear around children and things. This is not a place for children. We're creating a world for children. And Todd and George's child is the root of all evil. Not really, just in this moment.
The difference between...
Have you ever met someone that defends toxic people?
So plain neutral, and I'm not really part of this, is fucking toxic. It's in a family, in a friends group, that's also fucking toxic. It's also fucking toxic because you're not dealing with what's actually happening, right? You're like, oh no, I wouldn't want to have an opinion. I wouldn't want to have an right? Because it would cost you one or the other of them, potentially. It could cost you. So we have this whitewashed fucking bullshit culture of niceties and politeness it's gross and it gives nobody fucking nourishment. And the counter to all of the fucking shit that's going on the planet that is delusional and psychotic is to speak the truth. The actual fucking truth. What you believe, what you feel. Except we've created a cancel culture where if you feel or believe something different, you're gonna get cut out and you're gonna have nobody, no family, no friends, except that the people who we've been keeping silent are realizing the truth that when you speak, even with vile, putrid hatred, you find your people. Well, the other people are like, that's racist, they don't fucking care. She was yelling the N-word on the playground.
Or protects them. These types of people are ones that you need to stay the fuck away from because they are enablers. They enable toxic behaviors because they themselves are very anxious and they're very afraid.
And what I just said is clearly for things like getting someone put in a fucking psych ward, calling CPS on people in the police, right? Not, hey, you wore white after Labor Day. Like, go ahead and be neutral. Accept people for who they're at, except when it's human rights violations.
And they're the types of people that will play neutral in situations. They don't want to take sides. And people that defend toxic people are insecure and they depend on those toxic people to give them a sense of validation and self-worth. And on top of that, because they themselves are afraid of the backlash of the toxic and neglectful, abusive person, they would rather align themselves as like an ally to that person. So instead of the abuse going on to them, it will go into you. And they will never protect you. They will never stand up for you. They will never defend you. These people are really not okay. They're suffering a lot with self-worth, with anxiety, with fear. And it's better to stay away from these types of people because if there's a moment when something happens to you or you're a victim of neglect, of abuse, this person will never stand up for you and they will be neutral and say it's between you guys and they never did anything to me. Have you ever met someone that defends toxic people?
Right? Like that she never did anything to me, or he never did anything to me, works when it is something that is like, oh, they borrowed $20 and never gave it back. Or, you know, like, yeah, that might speak to their integrity, but you don't know both sides. You don't know what what the conversation was. You don't know, again, getting someone committed to a psych ward for 3 weeks on purpose and then taking no ownership of it. In fact, making a video where you're like, no, I didn't do that. Well, paying to make that video go viral, saying she had a delusional conversation with my mother and sister who said I didn't have brain tumors and called the Vancouver police that day. Well, she live streamed it. Taunting me when it's an 18+ and I can't even stream it. Hoping that I'm streaming it when the cops come and knock on my door because somehow with Allie Priestley focused as the center of all police departments, she thinks they're going to arrest me for having a negative opinion of Allie Priestley. She doesn't know what happened a year ago, so she doesn't need, like, she's like, I'm not responsible, and implicates herself. And can't deal with the responsibility for all of the shit she's caused in her own life, let alone all of the online toxic diarrhea she keeps causing in everybody's life.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but mutual abuse does not exist. I repeat.
It absolutely does. All the time. All the fucking time it exists. We are traumatized humans trying to exist and we traumatize one another. Husbands and wives, partners, friends, families. All be mean to each other. Also, reactive abuse does not okay abuse. Does not okay getting people put in psych wards and then trying to repeat that fucking process. Does not okay chucking smoothies at random strangers. Does not okay threatening receptionists on the phone that are just doing their job. Does not okay punching your mother in the face. Well, that was a little more.
Mutual abuse does not exist. You have abuse and then you have reactive abuse. And if you don't know what reactive abuse is, it is when the abuser pushes the victim past their breaking point to the point where they may lash out in ways such as physical violence or yelling.
I'm very clear, been very clear. The most violent thing about me is my fucking language. And it might become worse before it becomes better, but I'm not gonna become violent. Never been violent, will never be violent. The entire fucking Jubilee revolution is a peaceful, joyful celebration. Where I fucking swear, I guess.
But this does not mean.
Dear God, it's 30 seconds. We're gonna watch it all the way through. I'm gonna play it through. I was trying to say this is Allie's confession. She's about to snap, and Allie is a violent person, and she can't handle anyone giving her critique. She keeps saying, right, Jubilee's doing this for no views, as I'm gaining viewers. And she's like, I've ignored it and it didn't go away. Yeah, no, because that wasn't my fucking intention. You didn't understand my intention, which wasn't to be an influencer, which was to save the entire fucking world, right? Well, she's claiming I'm mentally unwell, been mentally unwell the whole time. She did get me a fucking diagnosis of delusional disorder with her lies and by signs and symbol weirdness and aphasia and all of it, the whole package. But it was Allie Priestley and Graham, the social worker, who lied to the doctors who had me committed. I wouldn't have been committed, wouldn't have been diagnosed with delusional disorder, wouldn't have the fucking shit show in my life and my child's life if Allie Priestley and the social worker hadn't been a fucking menace. And Allie, is screaming to the public that there is going to be a violent event and she will be responsible for it. And she will not feel responsible for it as she's sitting in jail for whatever fucking atrocious crime she commits in the future, right? She didn't kill the Pope. She will, I'm suggesting, based on logic and pattern, kill people or punch them or throw things at them or hit them with a car. Because she's literally in her reposts saying that. This woman isn't saying that, right? This woman is not threatening to drive her vehicle through a crowd. She's like, right, reactive abuse until someone's at their breaking point. Allie's like, you guys are pushing me to my breaking point. You guys are pushing me. You guys are pushing me. And then what, Colorado? Erie police? You know Todd and George aren't going to rein her in. You're not going to rein her in.
That the victim. I don't know who needs to hear this, but mutual abuse does not exist. I repeat, mutual abuse does not exist. You have abuse and then you have reactive abuse. And if you don't know what reactive abuse is, it is when the abuser pushes the victim past their breaking point to the point where they may lash out in ways such as physical violence or yelling. But this does not mean that the victim is also abusive. So for the record, I repeat, mutual abuse does not exist. I don't know who needs to hear this, but mutual abuse does not.
The difference between a conservative and a liberal is a conservative will hate your opinion. A liberal will hate you for your opinion. The difference.
Anytime you do this, right? I do this. Anytime you do this. If you're here's a binary. You're this or you're that. I'm going to kink my back. I'm not a fan. I'm going to go find ice. Let me go find ice. 1 second. I'm just going to. I'm back. Oh, I don't know how to get my ice to sit where it needs to sit. I don't know if we have any other. Nope, that was the last of Allie's, which is the. I swear she posted something after that. It was more recent, but I might have been thinking of the other one. Every day this is still up that Allie paid to have go viral. The day that she called the Vancouver police on me on April 29th, 2024, after calling the Vancouver police on me May 9th, having them come do a wellness check, and then calling again, throwing a tantrum that they never laid eyes on my child, so the police gave MCFD the reins. And again, my social worker mimicked Allie's lies, and something just made up in his own brain, and I got committed for 3 weeks. When I don't have a mental disorder that should get me committed for 3 weeks, and that's including if I have delusional disorder, that is not making me a danger to myself or anyone else. It gives me a fucking hell of a lot of stigma. And people being like, well, you sound crazy and you're crazy. While not dealing with the bias, like the cognitive bias, that you're calling me mentally ill will try to cost me all of my village, all of my family, all of my friends. And that's what we do in society to people with mental illness. We used to put them away in asylums and treat them horribly. And now they're amongst us being treated horribly, being created by society that's a little factory of mental illness. Because our brains break, our souls break, our bodies break under capitalism, under the patriarchy, under the cognitive fucking dysfunction you need to exist in the day-to-day living that is our current society. And I'm way less delusional, way less out of touch with reality and what actually is and the truth than 99.99% of people, especially doctors who are in the delusion of science. They can't see beyond it. They can't see how poisoned it is by both politics and economics, by both money and power. And therefore, the scientific theory can't actually fucking exist in that ecosystem. As somebody who got a scientific degree in ecosystems and genetics, that's what my degree is in. Allie is directly responsible for me having a 3-week psych stay after she ran a smear campaign for a year. And with all the stress she has added to mine, my child, and my friends' lives, she has, I feel pretty confident, caused and continues to cause my brain tumor. Allie is a menace. Will capitalism kill me first, or will Allie Priestley? Let's see, Jean.
That is Jubilee Briscoe of Vancouver, Canada, and she has been obsessed with me for the last 2 years. She is in a deep.
I just watched this through because I've corrected it so many times, right? But like, no, Jubilee's obsessed with creating a world that works for everyone. Been doing it since long before. When I was a child, when I was a Christian, all throughout my life, saving the world, saving animals. My name's been Jubilee the whole time. It's on my birth certificate. I did not know I was the Jubilee. I used the definition to get out of grounding once. I needed so many signs and symbols. I needed Eric's necklace to fall off in my hand as somebody said the fucking words Jubilee on his birthday. And even then I was like, we're gonna need a few years. We're gonna need some years. Everything that clicks into place around 2019 when I encountered Game B, and everything that clicks into place since Ali Priestley being a fucking menace on TikTok and finding me when I'm on strike. I feel like this is important. I do wonder if there's more that should be done to warn Colorado in the public about Ali. I tried to post it on the Reddit, like I'm like, and which just makes me look crazy. And it's like, right, calling the Erie police doesn't work because they don't fucking care. To them, they're like, this is just online antics. It's like, not to your constituent who fucking takes it into everybody's real lives. She's threatened people this month to call CPS because they are parents and they have a negative opinion of Ali, like, which I know you know. As one of those parents, I'm sick of talking about her. I just hope people stay safe. She goes to Denver for everything because she's literally banned or unwelcome from many places in her town. That makes sense. You think that would be a wake-up call to her that she may be the problem. The bold lies about you not having brain tumors makes me so incredibly angry. And this is the question, right? Is she lying, or does she actually think she had a conversation with Tears on Sherry? She didn't. So if she's not lying, she made up and went to a conversation in her imagination. I'm dealing with weird signs and symbols that are actually in reality that everyone is understandably red flagged. Ali is fucking Mystic Lipstick. Ali is Ruby Frank. Ali is all the people she keeps pretending I am. I don't crawl through people's windows and stab them. I don't threaten to drive to people's towns. I don't tag people's towns except for Ali's. She keeps doing it to everyone. Like Erie Police, she's having delusional conversations with people's families. She's had actual conversations. She's live streamed with people's families, but like this one she didn't have. She can't get Tears on the phone. She's reiterating a lie that Katie Felton told. It's like a lie within a lie. So bizarre. I know, but she's like put herself in it. Like it's like she's not saying someone told me this. She's like, I talked to her sister and mother who were here for like my sister made my brain tumors all about her. That's things click into place like that for me all the time. It freaks me out. Yeah, no. Hell yes. And that's like, it's like little, but I'm not little sprinkling. I'm the science and symboling. I'm working, figuring out how to use AI to put together the Matrix, Mean Girls, True Lies, the big, huge. And then while this is all going on, somehow Trump gets elected and Elon Musk is in the White House and RFK, mine and my family's Kennedy associations, even with True Lies, like Elon Musk shares the birthday with Brad Fraser and Maya. Then I have a falling out with Keanu Reeves, my brother Keanu Reeves' birthday. Like I can actually distinguish that Rachel McAdams and Keanu Reeves are real fucking people who have roles in movies. And I know them more from their roles in movies than I would ever know them as a real person. And yet, my real family, right, has interacted with the real human beings and had, like, what's the word? Impacts in each other's lives, right? You can't be neighbors and not impact each other's lives. You can't cast somebody in a like, I wish I remembered how I found out on the Matrix stuff. Because I don't know when I found out the Wolf Boy. I think it was after September 2nd. And Brad posted the Wolf Boy, Keanu Reeves. Anyway, but I don't know before that. And I stopped reading. I believe Ali actually did reach out to Tears Out Your Mom, but neither of them would say you didn't have brain tumors. Oh wow, Higgs, clear that up. That was creepy. Exactly. She never spoke to them directly on the phone, and the way she sells it, you think she believes what she's saying. I think she's delusional and dangerous. And just like Ruby Frank was writing in her journal that her kids were possessed and she was saving them, Ali's telling the world she's saving it. Well, she's projecting this violence in all these reposts of like cars, and I want to take. I can't. Like it's. This isn't signs and symbols. This is black and white danger to society.
Deep state of psychosis. She got herself put in a psych ward last year because she is so obsessed with me. And because she says stuff like this, she's still putting stuff out like this about me every single day. Ali kills the Pope during Holy Week in the year of Jubilee. Yeah, Jubilee, I had nothing to do with the fact that you went to a psych ward because you're so obsessed with me. That was last summer. She has done nothing to take care of herself since that happened. She got put in a psych ward for 3 weeks. Do you know how serious that is? And I had nothing to do with that. It's because she's saying stuff like this and she has a 7-year-old child. Isn't that so scary? And she thinks that she's going to stop me somehow, that she's on some mission from.
Also, I do have to say, if I'm lying about brain tumors, is that not like the first thing you say? How is it like sandwiched in between all this stuff? Oh yeah, by the way, I talked about my sister and like no brain tumors. Dude, she's lying about that piece of it. I didn't get her committed to a psych ward. You did. You absolutely did. You and the social worker. And then once I'm in with my aphasia and signs and symbols and not access to Google yeah, I had to get me out, right? Through psychiatry, which is there to see dysfunction, there to label who they put there as dysfunctional to okay that they put them there. We're meta in the mental health system, MCFD. Ali's like, he's obsessed with me. I'm in World War III taking down the entire patriarchy and capitalism. You come up as the fucking Satan, and you weren't, and you just kept being. You're the fucking devil, Ali. Why is she creating an entire religion? Did you stepped into the Judas ass? Like, Ali. What Shiloh in the title has done for $1 million, you've done for fuck all. Not a platform? Well, you're projecting that onto me, right? My platform's only going to grow and grow. My story, our story, Ali, our story collectively with all the people you've impacted directly, tagged on your TikTok stories or attacking them and their children, them and their life. You've done that again and again and again. I've done a version of that, right? We've got some enemies on this channel, and I've made friends with a lot of the people I've covered on this channel. You've made enemies out of a lot of the people who used to be in your comments as your friends, seeing things your way. But then they couldn't follow you to Delulu land. So you spoke to my sister in Motherland, right? The truth doesn't add up to that. Your timeline doesn't make sense. My timeline with brain tumors and memory issues makes a lot more fucking sense. I might have 1 or 2 things off. I get dates confused sometimes. There's only 365 days, right? There's like I understand the math. Allie doesn't understand reality enough to put out a 1 hour or more, to your heart's content, as long as you want to go, Allie, a story explaining the last 2 years. I got my trademarks and I lost my TikTok and then my cat scratched me and I threw a smoothie at someone and I'm embarrassed and it's all about me. There, done. 30 seconds, Allie.
From God to silence me. And now she's saying that she's going to die because of me. She also doesn't have brain tumors, by the way. I've talked to her mom and her sister. She has never had brain tumors. They went and got her tested a couple years ago because she started saying that she had brain tumors when she lost her mind around 2020. It's very obvious what happened, Jubilee. Like, we can see from your YouTube videos what happened. And I've spoken to her mother and her sister, and she does not have any sort of brain tumor. She had every test done. Stop using that as an excuse for your behavior, or maybe take accountability, or maybe
Autumn, and I'm not talking to Neverland, I'm talking to Autumn Priestley. Why am I Allie Priestley? Autumn Priestley. Okay, I have to say it together. I don't know, Autumn Priestley. Like together as words. Allie Priestley just rolls off the tongue. She's like a talking third person. I don't want you confused with all the other Allies, who I'm sure are great people. What do we pause to say? I really pen and paper and not pause until I've written the note and then look at the note. But that's not happening. That all sounds like labor.
provide some proof. Let's see proof of the brain tumors, Jubilee. I'm done playing with you. I have ignored this woman for 2 years, and now she's putting out stuff about me that's so wild.
I both love and hate this video. Like, it's both like, what the fuckity fuck? Because of that, I love it, right? Like, it's like, this is, she put out this video, paid for it to hit the FYP, called the Vancouver police while she's claiming she's not responsible for the last time she called the Vancouver police, and saying I don't have brain tumors. Oh, that's what I called to say before. Adam. Autumn. Words and things. I think Allie Priestley, while she was talking about my sister and mother, really talking about her sister and mother, and how they've brought Allie Priestley to all the brain scans, all the woo-woo-woos, and the actual white coat doctors, and the only thing Allie has allowed herself to be diagnosed with is autism, despite the fact they've in no way diagnosed her, she's just diagnosed herself. I do have brain tumors. I had brain tumors. I have minor TBI from brain tumor treatment, surgery and radiation, and the devastating impact a minor TBI has, because no one can fucking hear me, the impact it's had to help me actually fix, you know what I mean? And so we are where we are based on no one listening or hearing me since, well, 2005 is when I had my first surgery, but I didn't really experience the brain changes until after radiation in the same way. I was no, that's not true. I was single-sided deaf and my brain swelled in 2005. I experienced a minor TBI, but then after radiation is when the deterioration, it keeps happening. No one's listening. Everyone's like, la, 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 keeps happening. And I've been chronicling it, unlisted a lot of the time on YouTube, because this is my journal, because I kept journals as a child, thank God, and read a lot. I was raised by a librarian in a household without cable. I read a lot. I read through university when the internet was there, and I did have access to unlimited, well, Buffy, I did watch a lot of Buffy. It was more of a LimeWire time, more of a download, you know what I mean? Like, there wasn't quite the lack of labor it is now to just watch streaming movies. What is your point, Jubilee? Oh, I think I made it. Allie. Allie's that. I see we've just full on embraced it, your grace. Through one morning. I guess that's all right.
That's so dangerous, and saying stuff like this. I'm done ignoring you, Jubilee. This is gonna get really serious. And 2 years ago, I told you that you were gonna ruin your own life for no reason. Did you know that you could just turn off the internet? She's like, let's see if she's saying that the stress from this situation is literally going to end her life. Why would you let that happen? Why would you let that happen? This is why I say you care more about me than your kid. You would let the stress of this take over your entire life to the point that you think something bad might happen, but you won't stop. You can.
Jubilee is delusional. Again, ending capitalism, creating world peace. Do you see world peace? I'm not stopping. Creating a life for me and my kid is the priority. This is doing that because this is what I can do. You can work if you can live stream for 4 hours. Can I? I can't hold a fucking thought for 30 seconds. Can't pre-plan what I say and say it. Can't email or make phone conversations or do anything bureaucratic whatsoever. Can't schedule at all. But sure, right? Don't help with that. Like, Allie and Grace. The group chat is going to go your way, Juby. The group chat. Oh, is there a new video? Is that what you're referring to? Let's go. I'll go check.
Literally get offline and stop holding 3-hour live streams about me. You can stop having this horror, like, she does all of this for 5 views. Nobody listens to her. That's part of why I've just ignored her. She's a very sick woman, but you can't just harass another person for years on end, Jubilee. You just can't. And you're a liar on top of it. Right. The truth always comes out, and I'm going to put out. No, she's literally talking about the order. She's just, the Pope's nipple was born on whatever day. Yeah, I guess that's what you all see when I talk signs and symbols. If you all can't see, right? Like, people who, that Rachel McAdams, my sister's neighbor, Keanu Reeves, and Brad Fraser alone is weird enough. Kennedys. Like, this is the problem I have, is that I can't, none of the stories are in themselves. I just sound crazy because I'm like, Kennedy and the assassination and the moon landing. And the Ryans and Jared. All the good things. I sound crazy, and I'm not a danger to society. Well, that's not. I'm not a danger to individuals in society. I'm a danger to capitalism and the patriarchy. I'm fully truthful and honest about that. Allie is a danger to Erie, Colorado, it sounds like, actually does know. I actually do know. That's the supposed nipples. Exactly. Like, this is what I can do. It's all woven together. We're creating world peace here. Look what we got. My whole story about what happened here, and it makes perfect sense because I'm not delusional, and I've given this woman so much compassion, even though she wanted to destroy me. And do you know what's so funny?
She's given me and my child and all children so much compassion. Allie Priestley is the bastion of compassion. Bitch, I've been giving you compassion, right? And it dwindles. It's done. You're like, you've been an 8 billion person on the planet for a while. Like, as much as I feel hatred towards Tirza, and I do off and on, it's because she's family, right? It's because we know, like, there's something there. Allie is like, meh. She's the mehest celebrity and doesn't understand her role in any of this. Nobody seems to understand any of the roles. Like, a lot of the stuff goes over people's head, partly because of the aphasia, and partly because, right, I can't give enough backstory for any of it to make sense. That's why it's not supposed to make sense. The signs and symbols we're creating with the creator. Not following a leader, not following a king, you're following God. That's the whole fucking thing. Your relationship with God. Not dictated by Allie Priestley or a new Allie Priestley. Your relationship with God. I'm the Jubilee. I'm here to break the fifth wall and create the zero state solution to world peace. Bring about the joyful biblical Jubilee that I was named after, without any of the Bible shit that I'm fucking standing with.
Julie, you didn't care at all when people were trying to put me in a psych ward. You didn't care at all. You guys were actually vowing to get me put in a psych ward.
I don't think anyone should be put in a psych ward. Anyone. I don't think psych wards should exist. And I think our society needs to deal with the fact we are the human beings we are, with brains that do what they do. Right now, in every major city in North America, there is an addiction crisis. A fentanyl addiction crisis. Tiny grain of fentanyl can kill a small child. The fact it hasn't happened en masse is, you know what I mean, that like small children out in public, like your small child doesn't come across fentanyl and die is a miracle. We have the police, especially in Vancouver, and our entire system, like designed around not treating mental illness in any way but with stigma, creating more poverty, more addiction, stigmatizing, criminalizing, while not like I fucking can't. They couldn't have sat down and created a better powder cake where everyone's blaming everyone else instead of fixing the fucking problem. And addicts, people who are only concerned, their life or death next choice is to get their next fix. And what stands between them and that is money. Your car, your property, your body, your person, your child, everything's on the line. Because we're taking stretches here. The fucking Sackler family decided they need to make some fucking profit. And there's enough pain and trauma in society. There's a constant supply of addicts who are our friends and family and brothers and sisters. And they're acting like fucking zombies to get their next fix. And there's functional addicts and people, you know what I mean? Like that's not the only, you know what I mean? Not everyone does drugs turns into a, you're gonna steal your carburetor and, you know, murder you for $20. But when you've been treated like you're less than fucking dirt and you need your next fix and you know what I mean? You're being dehumanized, you're dehumanizing the people that you're committing crimes against. Both ends is happening. And the most traumatized, most susceptible, least connected to family and friends are going to be the people who end up on the streets, end up without a home, end up dead. Overdose, which is actually, whatever, counterpoints. If you're on the street, there's people who can actually see you and give you Narcan. Can't happen if you're hiding in your house, using by yourself. How does Julie get Allie's content? Magic and fairy dust. Always magic and fairy dust. No labor.
Or arrested. And you thought that was great. You went on a podcast admitting to helping people do that. And now you're sitting on TikTok saying like, oh, I got put in a psych ward. I didn't even want you put there. You ran a campaign trying to get me taken against my will. And now you have the audacity to sit there and complain about getting yourself put in a psych ward. And to anyone who supported her along this journey, just because you got mad at me, shame on you. Shame on you. This is parasocial hell. Like, I have so much to say about all this.
All that, the last rant that I just went on to say that the zero state solution for world peace, not having psych wards, is all about creating actual villages that deal with the actual fucking problems we have, which isn't cancel culture, which isn't kicking people out of the tribe, out of the village, and shaming them, vilifying them. Doesn't work. Creates more addiction, more crime, we punish and turn into slavery, and well, we have the system that currently exists that's broken and breaking faster and more, and we have a system that's actually possible. The signs and symbols are here to attract the people who can create the chaos with and for everyone else.
Yeah, I probably won't keep this video on my actual TikTok feed, but I'm going to post it there right now for a minute because this is absolutely insane. The things that she's saying about me right now, just so to make it clear, it's not true. The things that she's saying about, oh my God.
That you're projecting? That you call the Vancouver, like what I'm saying about this video that came out after you put this video, after you admitted to paying to have this video hit the FYP, keeping it there this whole time because you take down a lot of your content, right? But you systematically planned this one, but it's not true what Jubilee's saying. She's talking about her punching her mother in the face, which is absolutely true. Or she'd say, I never punched my mother in the face, and here's why you know that, because I never would punch someone. I have no violence in my past. I accidentally hit her because I'm clumsy. That's not right. No, Allie, that's me. I got blackout drunk, it's the alcohol's fault. It's always everybody else's fault.
And hags, like, ooh, this is such a mess. This is parasocial hell. I will explain a lot more coming soon. But yeah, serious action is being taken in multiple different ways. So I hope it was worth the 30 views. This video is for educational purposes only. TikTok.
Well, I don't watch it every day, but it's up. Someone should let Allie take it down. She's got no friends to tell her. Hopefully her one friend Autumn comes and has a conversation here. I'm no longer looking to protect Allie in any way, shape, or form like I was with Carissa and Allie's friendship back in October 1st, 2023. It's like, Allie needs friends. Everybody needs friends. Allie's a fucking menace who's created an echo chamber, her own little priestly cult of Todd and Georgia and her. And Erie, who lets her get away with it? Just like, she's a fucking menace. Who knows? Yes. I don't know. What do we play? Something. I have a lot of things on single. I'll take those. All short.
A woman who's single in that piece. She's single and she.
I don't know if there's an equivalent, a gender neutral equivalent, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, someone who's single and at peace, they're competing with their solitude, their purpose, their all of that. What, like, our entire monogamous bullshit Hollywood culture is stupid. Like, it's stupid. We sell it to young girls, especially. That they get to grow up and meet Prince Charming and marry and have babies, and it's stupid. It's a lie. And then there'll never be any work done. He's just gonna fucking cheat on you and do like no labor for him. No, here's how you become an actual functioning husband and father. In fact, the opposite. Don't play with a doll. You might learn how to change a diaper. Oh, no. The gender neutral. We need to raise children. Children are the future. We need everybody, all genders, all races, everyone. The creator put us all here for a fucking reason, including men. It's like whatever the fuck Jubilee says. We need a revolution that slaps monogamy in the face. That doesn't, and that doesn't mean you can't have a monogamous partnership. I think a lot of us only want one partner at a fucking time. 40, like 50, 60 years of forced monogamy so that the men can know their parentage, but it doesn't fucking work. And America is trying to slide back and be like, we know, just don't allow divorce and forced pregnancy. Problem solved. And their white supremacy, new fucking millionaires is the world we live in. We are very individualistic, which is where we needed to go, where God sent us on our fucking journey. But now it's time to come back together and form villages with and for your monogamous family, if that's what you're into. But if you need all of your neighbors to be monogamous, two-parent family, hetero, great. Love that for you, and don't love that for your children when they come out of there. But we'll love them when they get out. When they get out and disown you, most likely. If all of your neighbors, you know what I mean? You don't allow gayness, you might give birth to gayness. You're almost certainly giving birth to gayness. That's how God created us. Let's watch maybe 30 seconds of someone here.
She's happy. She's single and thriving on her own. If you decide to talk to a woman like that, don't worry about other men in her life. And it's not because other men don't want her. They do. But it's because you're going to be competing against her own peace, not other men. Men are not the competition. The competition is her. You got to understand that women like this have gone through the absolute most. They've been in traumatic and abusive relationships. So now they value their peace and they're perfectly fine with being on their own. They're perfectly fine with coming home and having nobody there. So if you decide to enter her life for whatever reason, you have to make sure that you're more significant and more valuable than that peace of mind that she already has. If you're not going to add to a woman who's at peace, don't even bother because she's going to cut you off so fast. Women who are at peace and who've been through a lot are very intolerant. Women who have learned to love their own company would rather turn on their favorite movie, watch their favorite show, binge watch a couple shows, whatever the case may be, scroll on TikTok, read a book, anything, instead of dealing with a man who's just going to disappoint her by not adding value to her already existing peace. So if your plan is not to add any kind of value to the peaceful life that she has created for herself through the heartbreaks and the disappointments, just leave her alone. Trust me, don't waste no one's time.
Hundreds of birds swarm a house.
God is talking to us through nature, constantly, always. But it's going to get louder and louder and louder until you pay attention. I'm not the delusional one.
Then they do something amazing. They fly right into the chimney. It's an invasion. This fireplace is where the birds made entry into the home. They flew in by the hundreds and left a wave of chaos and destruction. Look there. They're lining the windowsill with wings furiously flapping. They also attach themselves to the ceiling.
There were birds coming out of everywhere. It was insane.
Carrie lives in a home in Torrance, California. She says she called animal control, but was told simply to leave her doors open. But the birds wouldn't budge.
And they're just bouncing off your head. They were on the curtains. I just grabbed them 2 at a time, so I had 4. Take them to the door, let them go.
It took Patrick 3 entire days to remove more than 1,500 birds by hand, and they left quite a mess. Incredibly, the same thing just happened 100 miles north in Montecito, the same town where Oprah, Prince Harry, and Meghan Markle live. Only a steel grate kept 1,000 birds out of the house.
Sorry, I missed that part. Yeah, no. Nature's talking. Oprah, Harry, and Meghan Markle. Yeah, and those are chimney swifts. They do that. I don't know if they do that in that amount. I don't know if they do that this often. This is why we need actual data and not news report. We're always going to give us clickbait titles. We have the influencer culture. We created. Now we can create something better, which is what we are doing.
If you think that is crazy, just wait until you hear the full story. Because not only did the Haudenosaunee, okay, so first of all, that video uses the improper term for the people that it is talking about. It's not Iroquois, it's Haudenosaunee. Haudenosaunee means people of the Longhouse. So not only did the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, or the Haudenosaunee Great Law of Peace, which is what they call it, not only was it a functioning democracy for 1,000 years, and that continues to function today, it is still functioning. Not only did it exist, but it's actually the only reason why the Enlightenment period happened in Europe and why there was a French Revolution and an American Revolution. Basically, when French and English settlers came to the United States, they started to interface with Haudenosaunee leaders who achieved power within their community through debate, demonstration of intelligence, and democracy. Like, they were basically selected into power by their community. But they had criticisms of things like private property, social divide, class divide, and when French and English settlers went back to Europe, they brought back these criticisms with them. Haudenosaunee leaders also themselves went to Europe and debated with government officials there regarding monarchical systems of government. Then, further, when Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin were drafting the Constitution is basically a plagiarism of the Great Law of Peace, except when they consulted with Haudenosaunee leaders as they were drafting the document. Haudenosaunee leaders said that there's a fundamental problem within the document, which is that it maintains class divides and that it doesn't include women. So it's basically like a fucked up plagiarism that misses the most important parts. But I would really encourage everybody to do research into the Haudenosaunee Confederacy because it will change your entire understanding of American government and American history. There's a reason why these things are not taught to children and are not talked about. And it's because, one, if the government were to acknowledge that its founding principles come from a community that were oppressed by the government itself, there's an obvious hypocrisy there. Second, if they were to reference the document that our idea of democracy, what we call democracy, is based off of, if they were to reference that document, we would all see that there are fundamental pieces missing. They don't want us to see that. But yeah, do research into the Haudenosaunee Great Law of Peace. It's really fucking incredible. And it's still going on today.
So this is what actually happened to Indigenous people in Canada. We're talking about the Indian Act. Everything is from 21 things you may not know about the Indian Act. And I'm summarizing it so that people learn. 1882, they banned the sale of guns and ammo to Indigenous, and it was punishable by a $200 fine and up to 6 months in prison. 1884, it became a felony to sell alcohol to an Indigenous person, and it was punishable by 6 months in prison or without hard labor and up to a $300 fine. In the Indian Act, there is 39 references to intoxication penalties for being, providing, or brewing up until 1970. They used to, when they first landed here, settlers, they would intentionally give Indigenous people, because they didn't have alcohol, they would give them alcohol to get them intoxicated before they started negotiating. So just like prohibition in the United States, just because you make something illegal does not mean that people can't get their hands on it, but they do it in back alleys. So Indigenous people would buy it from back alley brewers, where it would be consumed rapidly in back alley bushes, because the government then made it so that it eventually became against the law for Indigenous people to be drunk or to have alcohol in their possession. They wanted the Indigenous working on farmland, but they denied them modern farm tools and given land that was not arable, not usable to actually grow crops. During World War I and World War II, Indigenous people went to go fight in the wars, and they were allowed to drink alcohol while they were fighting in the wars, but then they would get back to Canada and they would be banned from consuming alcohol again. They were banned from being in the presence of alcohol or any establishment that sold alcohol, which meant that the people who served in the military and got back were banned from being in legions. So veterans had no access to the legions, which means they had no access to like the newsletters that would tell them all the things they could get to help them after the war. So they actually did not have access to veteran affairs like the other veterans, and this was a way to keep them separate from white veterans. So it was in 1951 that they made it an offense for Indigenous people to be in possession of intoxicants or to be intoxicated on or off of the reserve. So they would consume it quickly to avoid being arrested or fined, which led to the myth that Indigenous people can't tolerate their alcohol, which was kind of by design. The Canadian government wanted people to think that Indigenous people couldn't handle their alcohol and made the perfect storm for that to be the case. And obviously, with the introduction of residential school, a lot of Indigenous people who deal with the generational trauma turned to substances. So residential schools, the Indian Act removed 6 to 16-year-olds to a church-run government-funded assimilation schools, also known as residential schools. It was a prison-like environment. A lot of the times were eating moldy food. A lot of them passed away from things like tuberculosis, and most people who survived those environments call themselves survivors. They finally removed the discriminatory liquor offenses in 1985, so like 40 years ago. Which means 40 years ago, I would not be able to have that bottle of wine on my counter that I have. In 1884, they had the potlatch law. So they made potlatch and cultural ceremonies illegal. So like powwows, anything like that was illegal. You weren't allowed to perform it, and they were trying to replace it with Christianity. But what they were really upset about was the passing of names, titles, responsibilities of a chief to their eldest heir. I remember that Indigenous people were also matriarchal, so they weren't necessarily just passing down things from man to man, which also white people did not like. So sometimes they would hold these events or the potlatch to distribute wealth, establish rank, past the chief or head of household. So they do it for weddings and for births, and the Canadian government considered this excessive, wasteful, and a barrier to assimilation. And the Europeans really struggled with the fact that in Indigenous culture, it was a sign of good if you could distribute your wealth. So you would do well, you would share it. Europeans did not understand this because they viewed status as people who could hold on to wealth, so not sharing it. So in 1921, in Albert Bay, they had a potlatch, and 45 people were arrested and charged. 22 people were jailed for giving speeches, dancing, and giving gifts to each other. Hundreds of masks and regalia were dispersed to collectors and museums around the world. So they took all their items and sold them off. That law was finally gotten rid of in 1951, which is why things like powwows and such are so important to Aboriginal culture, especially now. And regalia, people doing ribbon skirts and jingle dresses and all that was actually against the law until 1951. So from 1885 to 1951, you needed an Indian agent to give you permission to leave the reserve. They used this as a way to control Indigenous people, but it wasn't actually legal. There was Johnny MacDonald was the one who enforced this. That's why we hear about Johnny MacDonald being like really not a good person in our history. It wasn't legal. It was not in the act. The way that they enforced this was the Indian agents would ration or give privileges or withhold the privileges if you refuse to comply with getting permission to leave. And then not only that, but our police force would arrest and prosecute you for trespassing or vagrancy if you left the reserve without getting permission. They basically had like a sheet of paper saying why you were leaving, when you were leaving, when you were coming back, how many days you were allowed to be gone. This was primarily done in the prairies because again, back then farming was really big and they wanted Indigenous people to civilize themselves by becoming farmers. But you also had to get permission.
The signing in and out, very much Palestine, Israel, very much. But also the psych ward. Went on day trips, went on like sign in, sign out, you get privileges, you get they get them taken away if you're late. Somebody had a drink while they were out because we're adults and you're like they didn't say not to and then got like just stupid arbitrary rules. But you're claiming these people are mentally unwell enough to be in the hospital and then punishing them if they're 15 minutes late. When you've taken away their fucking ADD meds and they have ADD, like I can't. Like it's our entire society, how we treat disabled people, how we treat the mentally disabled, like who we've given them to and who have them since birth, both and our entire society, our racism, our the invention, the creation of whiteness and blackness in North America. Our shared human history and the zero state solution, what we can actually create from our shared history, which is villages, which is a world that honors societies and cultures that honor societies that honor children, youth at all stages of development, not patriarchal judicial bullshit of like, oh, the children are forced to obey the parents and be seen and not heard. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. It creates a European colonized society that's disconnected from God, the land, and everything that is real and true. Their families, while they're claiming family's so important. What the fuck is family? What makes it important?
And to sell the stuff that you were making on your farm, and they were giving them bad land to farm on. Not only that, but these passes, so in 1889, these passes were required to visit your kids at residential schools, which residential schools, they were taking the kids without permission. If you didn't give your kids, like if you did not send your kids away, you could face prison time. You were only allowed to visit your kids 4 times per year. So the schools did not close until 1996. And the goal of the schools was, quote, to kill the Indian in the child. 6,000 of the 150,000 either died or disappeared. They died of disease, malnourishment, and broken hearts. Essentially, they were so stressed, so unhappy being in the schools, their immune system started to fail them. On top of the fact that they were eating things like moldy food. And a lot of them ran away from the schools and passed away trying to get back home to their families. They didn't establish clear forms of punishment, but the principle was encouraged to beat and whip. Now, Johnny MacDonald in our House of Commons is quoted saying this. Let me just be clear, Johnny MacDonald is one that Pierre Poilievre stated we should not be ashamed of and we should go back to his time. When the school is on the reserve, the child lives with its parents who are savages. He is surrounded by savages, and though he may learn to read and write, his habits and training and mode of thought are Indian. He is simply a savage who can read and write. It has been strongly pressed on myself as the head of the department that Indian children should be withdrawn as much as possible from the parental influence, and the only way to do that would be to put them in central training institution schools where they will acquire the habits and modes of thought of white men. But patriarchy doesn't exist, right? In 1927, they made it if you hid your child, you would be arrested in prison. And any annuity, so treaty money, which is like dollars, okay? But you're supposed to get for the land that the government took from indigenous people, you're supposed to get paid for it. All the people were supposed to get paid for it. The government would take it to pay for the schools. And they call this the final solution of our Indian problem. The attendance was mandatory until 1969. And it was quoted in our government as being considered a cultural genocide. Now, the problem is there's something called the 60s scoop, okay? So basically, indigenous school attendance was going down. And then what did they do? Family and child services. So in 1959, 1% of the population of kids in family and child services was indigenous. 1960, it was 30 to 40%. So basically, as soon as they were like, you don't really have to go to school, or they're trying to phase out the schooling, they ended up ramping up taking kids and putting them into foster care or the wards of the government. And that was another way to try and steal children from indigenous people to indoctrinate them into white culture. And that continued until the 1980s. Follow for more because that is only chapter 3.
I watched this last night / this morning. The mission about 2 pairs of missionaries who go on their mission to Norway, and their mental health struggle, and also just Mormonism. Both the people I met through True Lies, Eric and my number 1 Mormon. I grew up in Lethbridge, which was a pretty large Mormon town. After my parents moved us from Edmonton, where our extended family lived, to Raymond, because my dad got a job in Lethbridge. Lethbridge was the third biggest city in Alberta. Raymond is a tiny town that is 90% Mormon. We were not Mormon. We did not fit in a tiny town that we did not grow up in. We're just gonna watch the trailer. The missionaries of Mormonism, they have a ceremony at the end. One of the women attends, some girl attends, who has the nameplate, and she's giving over the nameplate. Their entire missionary, all of them, 20 and under. One of them's telling their testimony in here about how she came to understand the Book of Mormon, and it took time. It took a lot of time to understand it. I was like, bitch, you were born into it. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, the Mormon missionaries truly don't convert people, except the truly vulnerable and lonely. And they're honest about it. They convert themselves. That's them re-solidifying. Instead of the Rumspringa that the Amish send their children on to go be in the world to decide if this is for you. What we offer, what the world offers, decide, right? The Mormons save money. It's like their whole lives, right? And not everyone goes on their mission, but a lot of them do. It's seen of as this huge spiritual mission. We were then basically told to go and proselytize at all these random doors, which is like a fucking mental health crisis. Like, for somebody with social anxiety, for anyone who isn't a born salesperson, and the Mormons are not born, I can't. The entire Mormon culture creates a very specific, all of it together. But we need an equivalent that is the global world, especially Canada, Australia, Europe, America. Somewhere youth can go that isn't university, but is what university used to be. Is what indigenous culture would have created, that university. Youth education and purposehood created with and for youth to get together and be in community, learn to get along, learn to do what literally no generation has done before, because they've been putting it on the future generations, and to make a youth culture that is passed on to the next youth that isn't the plastics and mean girls, that isn't beating up the new people who come in, like sororities and such, but actually welcoming who will become you, right? Who you would and including the alumni, and a tiny fraction of our society, i.e. 18 to 20-year-olds, which would be, but I actually want to do it with 13 to 18-year-olds because that's where my kid is. I want to create an education system with and for youth. Not to train them to be little army members in the capitalist system, but actually they are part of a whole. They've been lied to, they're part of a whole. To find that whole, right, if you want a project done, you don't need to be everything for your project. You do need to find the right collection of people who can be on that project to do all of this stuff and work together and learn to work with other people and learn to research as you need it and learn as you need it. And the generation we have, thank God we co-created them, because they're going to save us all. Our alphas. Not the men, the babies.
Yeah. It says it in the scripture. It says every able young man should serve a full commission. I'm so excited for it. I will be apart from my family for 18 months. Whole new country, whole new people, preaching the gospel nonstop. My name's Dad.
This is paradise.
He literally has seizures. He just tells a story. He's just like, I went over my mission, brother. You just had to sit me up so I wouldn't choke on what was coming out of me. And because of his social anxiety that they're not addressing, they're addressing it in a very oh yeah, keep knocking on doors, keep doing what makes you uncomfortable, keep doing the thing. Not addressing it in a way of hey, how could we have you serve a mission, right? As an individual, this is what mission looks like. It looks like, you're knocking on doors and readdressing yourself to fit that mission versus finding a mission that works for you.
This is another area. You should have an noise tomorrow.
You're going to work. When somebody slams the door, I'm going to go to the next door. I'm going to love the people and going to bring them back into the church.
I literally just told the story in a worse way than he does. You actually probably could. How he tells it was less bad than what, and I don't show it. He's just he literally says it basically like I tried to say it.
A lot of people only see the one side of things. They only see us out on the streets, but they don't see where we actually go through.
This religion that I've come to love so much, it's something that has taken a lot of time for me to trust that these things are true.
Yksin Suomessa tosi paljon. Pääset takaisin lauluntaan yhtä aikaa. Jotenkin se on merkitystä elämälle.
They don't follow that guy's story, but I don't know if the subtitle said, he's a lonely guy who has no friends, and these two beautiful Mormons show up at his door. He's like, I've been really enjoying hanging out with you guys on Saturdays. And I think he gets baptized into the church. He's like, there's a lot of really lonely Norway people. They're called Norwegians, and he probably, subtitles probably say Norwegians. A lot of lonely people in Norway. There's a lot of people all over the world, and they're joining up with cults. So let's create the village.
I don't know if I can do this for a year and a half.
There's going to be 1,000 things that make you different from the people over there. But there's one very important thing that you have in common, and that is that you're a child of God.
Well, because I just sent myself all the things that I'm like, maybe we'll talk about this, and then we talk about all of them because that's how my brain ADD says the world peace. I'm pretty LDS missionary. I've seen a horror movie with the same concept with Hugh Grant, 2 LDS missionaries visit him. That was maybe I watched too much true crime. It's like, there's only 2 of you. There's only 2, especially when it's the women. I'm like, God, what could go wrong? There's all like, seems very vulnerable to invite people into your home, both and inviting people into your home. Absolutely not, especially when it's 2 men. Boys, they're baby missionaries. And I'm like, you're 18. What spiritual advice do you have to impart on me, young one? But like they're really just re-indoctrinating themselves, both because they have to do the whole year and a half, right, in order to complete it, in order to like, doesn't kind of matter what happens, in order to feel like so therefore you have to, you put yourself on that mission, reconnect with God, which is basically by putting yourself through the torture of going to knock on a bunch of doors that you don't want to do, and talk to people you don't necessarily want to talk to. I'm sure some people find it absolutely exhilarating and love it, but then they're paired up with someone, and they're not even like, they switch their partner every, they say in there, every 6 weeks, every 2 months, something like that. It's interesting. Neither Eric nor Ryan went on their mission. Ryan wasn't Mormon when we were yesterday, like he didn't believe in it, but his deal with his parents were that he participated in it. So he like went to church on Sundays with his parents, and he went to the stake dances while he was dating B, which is like weird. Emily's really popular in Utah. And Utah is kind of the congregating place for Mormons, a very big Mormon culture in Utah, but you don't not get to move there if you're not Mormon. You don't have to move there if you are Mormon. They have to kick people off planning to genocide. That was a collective, all of us. We already discussed that.
Firefest of book talk, and I haven't seen any mainstream press about it. And I really like
Firefest of book. I don't know if anyone else knows this thing. This will explain it pretty well. Though there was a lot going on TikTok. This and the thing Ali was talking about, the Save America tour, whatever, both of which had falling outs. This one though had been planned like I can't a year and a half. All of the authors understandably put down their deposits, planned life events around this, and they didn't advertise to the people who read books to get them to come to an authors event. They didn't make it like I can't. This is just a lost opportunity. Understandable why the authors signed up for it, and not understandable like these are the Firefests, the Charlie and the Chocolate Fountain, that debacle that went on because they had AI do the flyers and it looked like Willy Wonka. And you showed up and it was like some person with some beakers and a handful of jelly beans. This, like, not a single decorate. Like, they paid hundreds, or whatever. We'll just let her speak it. But it's social media failure. Both that the person who planned the event did not plan an event, but she felt confident enough to plan an event. Top of Mount Stupid. Didn't realize she had a year and a half to plan it and didn't do anything until like a week before. Made lots of money.
to be able to help some of the authors affected. So let's talk about this. The event was called A Million Lives. It was in the making for about a year and a half.
I planned my pregnancy around this event like a clown.
But it looks like it was thrown together in 45 minutes. That was rude. Like, even the Willy Wonka experience had decor, this was advertised as a black tie ball. But that's not even the most egregious part, because this was part of a whole weekend for romance and fantasy authors, wherein the authors paid to be able to sell their books at this event. But really, there were more authors than there were participants, and everyone lost money.
I lost nearly $3 grand on this trip.
I am now out about $2 grand.
I didn't make table. I've never, in my career as an author, ever failed to make table. I barely made enough to cover my fucking parking for 2 days.
The person who put this together is also an author. She writes under the name Grace Willows, which makes this way sadder to me. But the company she did this under, Archer Events, she deleted most of their socials, and this is the only apology she's given.
Hi everybody, I am wanting to issue a formal apology. I do understand that the ball tonight was not set to standards. There were a lot of issues with getting set up, and it was not set up well. I want to apologize. If you would like a refund, please contact me. I will issue a refund immediately. Thank you.
But it's not just about that one ball or lack thereof. The deception goes further than that. Here's an indie bookseller who declined to work with Grace and whose name she still used. And just listen to what a logistical nightmare this event was.
Not even just the attendance level. There was no signage. There was no panel schedules. There was a lack of communication. I'll say it that way. Every point, everything was like fucked up, not delivered on, or just half-assed. There was no water there. There's no swag bags for people who paid to go to this. There's no badges or wristbands. I have never done so poorly in an event before.
But I had not seen any advertising. And then I saw the only posts on Archer Fantasy Events socials were offering the tickets at 40% off. That's when I knew that like anybody was coming. That's when I knew it was even worse than what you're seeing.
So she went to dollar store to get one bag of fake rose petals as the decoration. I sent my husband a picture of it, and he said it looks like a Pokemon tournament.
There was no DJ. Our security guard felt sorry for us and brought a shower speaker from his home.
Which is exactly like the person advertised it to the authors of TikTok, and so they used Book Talk to get their ticket sales that they then didn't market. Like they could have used all of those authors to be like, right, now invite your people, right? In a way, it gives them a discount. Does something that wasn't this absolute disaster, which is what social media is in a lot of ways.
And there were a total of around 30, mostly authors, that came to the ball.
I'm going to link as many authors as I can find who attended in the caption. Hopefully we can all support them.
Hey, just so we're clear, Sesame. I just like all of the gorgeous ball gowns and women got like, and then the gray. Even I know that's horrible, and like I know that right, other people are in charge of decoration, not me, because I know I couldn't put on an event. It would look a hell of a lot better than that because I know I can't put one on. But the overconfident people, that's an Allie Priestley event. You know what I mean? That's what she blamed on Roxy though. Roxy. Oh, I bet they hadn't spoken for 3 years. You know, Sesame Street's always been woke. Just what's it called, woke?
Sesame Street and PBS in general didn't become woke. You grew up to be a bad person. Sesame Street has always been diverse. It's always been inclusive. It's always been woke. It has never been about just learning ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. I'm just going to let the clips speak for themselves. 1977.
You see, he's drinking milk from my breast.
That's a funny way to be a baby. 1985.
Who's Miles? Oh, Big Bird, don't you remember we told you a while ago, Miles is the baby we're adopting.
1993.
There's just some really stupid people in the world who can't stand to see it when people of different races are friends.
1995.
My mom and dad are going to buy me my new racing chair.
A racing chair? What's a racing chair?
Hi, Carol. That's a racing chair. Hi, Ryan.
2006.
You tell everybody that it is okay to hug someone who is HIV positive like me.
If this were an episode of Sesame Street, Big Bird would need an adult to explain to him why so many hateful people want him evicted. Well, Big Bird, that's kind of hard to explain. There are just some people who get very upset when they see people unlike themselves. But diversity is so great. That makes no sense. I know. And I agree.
We're in trouble. We are in trouble. This country is in big trouble. It's been in trouble. It's an ongoing thing. But right now, the rate at which things are happening, we are in big trouble. And so my question is, what are you going to do? What's your plan? What's your plan for this? And I mean beyond the marches and the rallies and things. What are you going to do? What's your plan when things go to complete shit? I've heard people say that it's a bit dramatic to say that nobody's coming to save us, but nobody is coming to save us. Nobody's coming to save us. We've seen how the administration is working. We've seen how the people that are supposed to be in opposition to the current administration are working. They're not doing really anything to save us. Nobody's coming to save us. This is on us right now. This is on us, the people that live here. What are we going to do? What is your plan? How do we plan on pushing back on this? And when I say that nobody's coming to save us, and that's been dramatic thing to say that, when I say nobody's coming to save us, I mean, again, we are all that we have. We are all that we have. And at some point, that recognition needs to show up, right? That recognition needs to become apparent. And here's the truth. There are more people that want something different than what's currently going on than the people that want it to stay the way it is. There are more people that want something different than what we currently have. And again, nobody's going to save us. You need a plan. You need a plan. Do you know what you're going to do when you can't feed yourself? Do you know what you're going to do if you lose your job? Do you know what you're going to do if you're no longer able to house yourself? Do you have a plan? Do you have somebody that is in your corner to back you up, to help you out? Do you have somebody whose corner you're in to help them out in case they find themselves in the same situation? What are you going to do to help the people that are next door to you, or the people that are up in the powers that may be are doing everything they can to get rid of us and destroy us? What are you going to do? If you get mad at me for this video, if you think that somebody should do something else, sit with that and ask yourself why you're mad at me for asking you what your plan is for the destruction of this country. Why are you mad at me for that?
We brought strangers into the lab in pairs.
Does no one else know all of these psychological experiments? Does no one else have special interest in the marshmallow experiment, all of those things? Like, no? Okay, well, that's why I'm the Jubilee, I guess. This simple, they know they're in this experiment. They know they're in it. They're still like, I won Monopoly.
The two, with the flip of a coin, determined who was going to be a rich player and who was going to be a poor player. The rich player got 2 times as much money to play the game. They got to roll both dice instead of one, so they got to move around the board a lot quicker. And that mattered because when they moved around the board and passed to go, they would collect $200, whereas the poor person would collect $100. The inequality is almost immediately apparent to the players. How couldn't it be? But within a couple of minutes, dynamics start to crystallize.
How many 500s do you have? Just one. I have 3.
And the rich player starts to behave a little differently. Rich players become more dominant. Rich players eat more pretzels. When moving their piece around the board, they become louder. They start smacking the board with their piece. And the rich players were significantly ruder. They were far more likely to showcase and talk about how well they're doing and to belittle the plight of those poor players. So they became less compassionate. And these are patterns that we're observing consistently over hundreds of different individuals. You see people who are winning because of the flip of a coin start to act as if they actually deserve to win. One of the questions we ask is, why did you win the game? You can imagine that rich players would say, well, I won the game because of that flip of the coin. I had 2 times the advantage. But none, not one of the rich players attributed their inevitable success in this game to that force of luck that randomly got them that privileged position in the first place. We translate perceptions and experiences of being better off than others materially to being better than others.
They didn't burn witches, they burned women, they burned healers, they burned herbalists, they burned midwives, they burned powerful women in their communities, they burned widows who had large plots of land, they burned anybody who spoke up against what was happening. What happened during the burning times should be history that is taught to everybody, but instead they lied to us and they changed the story.
So what I was pausing to say before, long before, like the very beginning of this video, this is both making fun of me, right? Someone they're claiming is dangerous in mental illness. It's like, why? Why would this be something that we would do as a species, as a group, publicly, on TikTok, right? Be like, hey, this is hilarious that I'm mimicking somebody who I'm claiming is in mental health crisis. Well, claiming she's the dangerous one, but Allie's the actual dangerous one is like a whole weird irony. We're gonna watch her and we'll watch my videos. And I don't know what we'll do after that. We'll see. That's like a whole 5 minutes in the future.
Today is the day that Keanu Reeves was born. It is also the day that the Pope gave birth to my second tumor. My first tumor is named Rachel McAdams. My first tumor is named after none other than Allie Priestley. Not coincidentally, it was this day today that the Galactic Star told me I am the Jubilee. It also just so happens to be that my sister's cousin's best friend's boyfriend is also the neighbor of Rachel McAdams. I named my third brain tumor after Allie Priestley on this day, 3,270 years ago, when I was born, because I am the Jubilee. ChatGPT says that on this same day, also, not coincidentally, stars and signs, symbols and signs, stars and symbols, Marilyn Monroe's mole was born. Today.
Right? So if I am dangerous, that would be crazy to do. claiming you're mimicking Allie's version of me and my parenting, right? In your comment, all kinds of fun. Come on over for a chat tomorrow. I don't think you'll show up. I really don't. I don't think. And if you do, it'll probably end your friendship with Allie. So, good times, good times. Like I said in the video, make sure you check with Allie P first, right? She's already said everyone shouldn't be here. Stay away. Jubilee's scary, but also make videos at her so that she's, if I'm scary, targeted at you. Allie's the actual scary one who does what she did to me. Pay for videos to go viral, call Vancouver police or police on you, call CPS on you. I don't know what I'm doing here. Just full screen and come back over.
Cannot express
Nope,
all
this is the right
of the deep irony that's in this one comment. So I'm just
Also just so happens to be that my sister's cousin's best friend's boyfriend.
Autumn. Autumn's your name. The same name as Ellie's sister. The same sister who shares the birthday with last. Okay. But what's the real significance of Rachel McAdams? What's the real significance of Keanu Reeves? What's the real significance of Allie Priestley? What's the real significance of my brain tumors, which do exist despite your cult leader? This is for fun, TikTok. Allie Priestley likes to hurt people for fun. I like to save the world. Let's see who wins.
Also,
I cannot express all of the deep irony that's in this one comment. So I'm just going to read it out loud. And anyone
But me can go for 5 minutes. And Ellie literally last week was yelling at Sleuthy and Higgs for having the audacity to represent her on Aunt Karen after being friends with them literally 2 years after that, right? That was pretty wrong. Right. Believe what you did, right? Pretty wrong now. While this person's claiming no one's defending Allie. You need to see the other side from Allie's perspective. You mean my entire channel that has chronicled Allie being a gigantic bully, freaking out that there was a whatever part podcast. Well, she's ignoring my content, yet claiming it's dangerous, yet not dealing with it, yet, right? So much fun, this med experiment. We're all in.
who's been on a journey with me for the last 2+ years can be in on the joke. We can certainly talk about it on live. You guys don't get to rally up on your lives without a representative from the other side of the story. That's not seeking truth and resolution. That's duck. I'm live for roughly 4 hours every day. So.
And Allie, when she attacked my child on the first day she attacked my child, April 30th, 2023, when we met Katie Felton, she put duck instead of fuck, and then corrected it in our right where she's claiming again I'm dangerous. Yeah, you're coming for my child. So much fun, the deep irony. We're ending it with duck.
So come on over anytime you want. Just request the link and you can come on up and we can chat about whatever you would like. I cannot express all of the deep irony that's in this one comment. So I'm just going to read it out loud. And anyone who's been on a journey with me for the last No. I can go live 4 hours a day. I don't plan it and schedule it and then go live at a specific hour. Let me show you. There's my next live. It says it's scheduled for May 8th at 12:20, and the thumbnail says rarely at time shown. World peace coming soon. Look, there you are on today's 4 hour live. I also rarely type, so video replies are what people get generally. No. Hello, my name is Jubilee.
Good old Jubilee before. What should we watch? Who knows? I don't have anything on signal at the moment. Let's go to my YouTube channel. Which one? Oh, I know we're watching. Actually, I do know we're watching. We're gonna watch Adriel. Look, we're live. Let's watch that. Let's watch us watching us. We're not gonna watch all of it, but just
These are
the fact that Adriel misunderstands her role, like all of it. That she won the lottery on TikTok. Now she's like, my profession's winning the lottery. It's not. Did you win the lottery? Well, purposefully attracting children and vaping on screen. And she's like, why won't they just let me do what I do best? Have no critique online. We'll be the worst mother. Why did I pause the advert? Why did we pause the advert? It was already I don't know. We're probably only gonna get about that far into it because she goes on for 20 minutes. I've not watched it, but I can only watch it. Adriel for so long. She does make the most boring content, intermixed with controversy. If she just makes boring content, that's not acceptable. It's not a crime. It's not a crime to be bad at social media, or I'd be arrested.
If you're watching a content creator making videos about me, if you're watching content creators communicate and bring my name up, please take a moment to consider. I don't know these people. I've never met them.
Again, she's trying to have a social media career, doesn't take any responsibility for everything she has brought online about her kids, especially her son, about her mother, that keeps getting, I can't tell all of it that she brought to online, her history with the school, she brings online. These people don't know me. They don't have anything to say. Except some of them do know you, because they know what happened with your son in the small town. You're like, oh, I'll just yell at it because I'm an influencer. Nope. Individuals exist online, right? Just like you begged your students to come forward and claim you were a good person, and the opposite happened. Why won't I just let me exist online and make tons of money without dealing with where I'm making that money and how it affects people? Why won't they just let me beg for money while berating everyone who gives me money and claiming it's a career?
And it's unique that creators will talk about me as if I am playing a role in their life, as if Adriel plays a role in so-and-so's life. When I, in fact, do not know any of these content creators. I don't play a role in their life, and they don't play a role in mine. Please just try to be happy. Focus on making decisions with good intent, with compassion. Be considerate about what you put out there, because a lot of
you live streamed your son being missing instead of dealing with your son being missing and all of the implications that come for him for the rest of your life because you made that decision. You made the decision to live stream your mother in multiple fights you've had, right? And like you live streamed in a church, lost all of Pittsburgh access to the Catholic church next door to you. It was open 24/7. I don't know why people are talking about. Hi, Adriel.
Content creators who make content using my name, or even people who live stream and use my name. You know, your audience can be very, very large, and everyone has the potential to go viral at any given moment. And try to put a message out there that influences people to lead with compassion and spread love to one another.
Even when pushing veganism to her own children, she's screaming about murder. On like, just kind of compassion. Just like, this is the fakest fuck toxic tears of spirituality, right? Like, love and light. Love and light. Teresa is much more love and light than Adrielle or Allie. Much more love and light. Very beige, white, no negativity, except that literally can't exist. So she's allowed to express it, right? When she has a bad day, it inevitably comes out. When everyone else does, Jubilee's brain tumor day, remember? Love and whatever, gratitude or healing. I couldn't have been more loving and grateful during that fucking time in my life. Still had brain tumors. Still had an horrific sister. Ableist as fuck during my last 20 years of trying to heal from brain tumors. And instead, it costed me my ableist as fuck white family.
If you're interested in understanding who I am because you discovered my name through another content creator or live streamer, just think critically, think for yourself, get to know me through my live streams. That's the easiest way to get to know more about me. Watch my content, make your own opinion.
Yeah, definitely. And also watch the other ones that she's suing of like, you have like previous content out there, how dare you? She's also constantly threatening legal action, does do legal action some of the time, but also has actual legal action done against her. The whole Jenna, I don't remember her ex's name. I'm gonna say Dan, but I don't think it's right.
It's so mind-boggling how people speak as if I'm part of their life when I'm not. So many content creators deceive their audience because they themselves, these content
Again, Adrielle's content is so fucking annoying. You come online every day, eat with your mouth full of food pouring out of your mouth, try to do thirst traps. You supposedly have some kind of porn out there in a tanning bed. That is a public tanning bed, right? Not your tanning bed. And then you're like, that's copyright infringement. No, that's a gross thing to do publicly and post publicly. People know you're you, right? Her having an OnlyFans account, while she's still actively trying to attract 14-year-old fans and vaping. And be like, I can't be responsible. 14-year-olds also give Taylor Swift. Are you responsible for Taylor Swift? You're vaping online, claiming your live streams are 18 plus, where there's babies in the comments being like, did you check out my Roblox account? Minecraft, cool. Oh, my daughter's teaching me brain rot. Let me attract 13. Like, I fucking can't with this bitch. Well, she literally can't go more than 30 seconds without vaping. For children. I can't be responsible. Be responsible for the 3 you have, even. Get offline. You are horrible. This is all I can do, right? She made tens of thousands of dollars a month on TikTok during her peak. And now that's what she needs to live off of. Make a fucking meal. Actually make a vegan meal. Don't even stream it. Or stream it, whatever. You're gonna do you. But like, all of her vegan content is like, here's manufactured vegan shit that's horrible for you. You can buy from the link in my Amazon. Vegan's healthy. It cannot be healthy. Have you read the ingredients? Link in my bio. Link in my bio. You can blow dry my hair loudly on screen every day, so you can buy it from a link in my bio. How do you guys feel like you know me? We're literally getting ready with you every day. You're farting and belching online. We're married, bitch. You're like, I can't.
creators truly believe that I am playing a role in their life. And I'll never understand the psychology behind it. Maybe some people would call that a parasocial relationship. A parasocial relationship is a one-sided connection or a one-sided sense of intimacy that a person develops with a social media figure. So this could happen with characters in a movie. This could happen with live streamers. This could happen with celebrities, actors, actresses, content creators, rappers, musicians. The key word there is it's a one-sided sense of intimacy. It's a one-sided connection.
Perfect. And Golma Bentley advertisement plays. Right. You're responsible for that one-sided connection as the influencer, Adrielle. Not TikTok is my employer and I need to get minimum wage and I also need breaks paid and what? This is a one-sided relationship, yes, where you're basically, I can't, literally bringing us into the bathroom with you in bathtubs and showers while you're trying to attract 13-year-olds. Well, like, it is a horrible strategy. She's not good at it, nor is she good at doing the 18 plus. She's like the worst of all worlds come together thinking she can make it on social media because she did before, when what she did was beg for money successfully in battles. And she's like, the favorite is designed for battles. And she doesn't make money. She doesn't have TikTok to shake her little butt for and twirl her hair and do the 13-year-old antics.
The person I'm watching must really know Adrielle. It's all one-sided. A parasocial relationship develops through repeated exposure to a media.
So I've watched Josh cover Adrielle. I don't like Josh. Do you think I was like, oh, Josh, right? Josh and Dan Challenge podcast. In fact, I think I watched her. I watched Cooper, who I find adorable and sweet, also doesn't know I exist, right? Did I think Cooper knew you? No, I did not. I think Cooper watched your online social media and made a video on it. That's what I think, because that's what I know, right? I didn't think he was sitting for coffee with you. I understand the parasocial relationship. And even sometimes I get it confused, even with my full understanding.
Figure. And I am a repetitive live streamer. I post consistent reels, consistent shorts, consistent videos. A parasocial relationship will develop through repeated exposure to a media figure, leading to a sense of familiarity and connection as if the viewer knows the person personally. I choose to depict myself a certain way. I choose to entertain the way I choose to entertain. I choose to portray myself.
And we're all 25 years and older who've been involved in the Allie Priestley 20 up. Sorry, 2 years plus. I don't know what 20 up was. No idea what that was. 2 last years, right? 25 and up. Most of us much older than that. Therefore, I'm 45. I grew up not with social media. I grew up without the internet. And then remember getting the internet. Remember getting cell phones. Remember all of that. And still, it's hard to distinguish AI and reality from, right, the fake as fuck reality we pretend online. Can you imagine being 13 and having to contend with fucking Adrielle, but like just the world in general? Well, you don't know anything different. And what's a celebrity? Do I want to be one? Do we want to, like, what is this world? The adults are all, it's crazy. It's a crazy world. And us not acknowledging that is delusional.
In certain fashions for certain videos, it can be very versatile because I'm a social media live streamer and content creator. I have to see what works for me. What niche do I belong in? So 1 month I could post 50 videos cooking vegan meals and I can see, how does that work?
Which is when you're just starting out, right? Just starting out with a YouTube channel, finding out your niche, and then you find it and you stick with it. If you're not, Adrielle is scrambling to find an influencer platform, while begging to be an influencer, while also claiming she's an expert at being an influencer and can teach people, and everyone should do this. Isn't it a great place? Oh, everyone hates me because I posted myself online. Like, where Ali tells nobody to be an influencer, well, Adrielle tells everyone they should be an influencer, especially children. Well, she doesn't understand what it is to be an influencer, doesn't understand the parasocial relationship, doesn't understand added value to the economy. Them buying a blow dryer, you didn't make the blow dryer. You didn't give them value, but they gave you value because they bought it from the link in your bio. You promised them entertainment and you lied, right? You gave them the wrong entertainment. I mean, the haters, we know what entertainment we're getting. We know.
Work out for me? Are people interested in this? It's all dependent on my audience. Then I could shift my content to silly dances and singing for a month and post 50 videos of me being silly singing and dancing to see how that works for me. As a result, because I'm so versatile, viewers are exposed.
You're in Pittsburgh, Adrielle's in Pittsburgh, and then so many other people are in Philly. You guys don't start Village with Adrielle. That sounds horrible, but Philly people start Village.
To repeated content, repeatedly viewing my content. And these viewers become attached and connected to the content I'm currently working on. Maybe it's a month of vlogging and I'm sharing all of the obstacles in my way for a month because I'm having a stressful month. And I choose to portray myself as stressed out, vulnerable, and anxious. That would attract an audience who can relate, and we build a.
So Adrielle, what is it when like you start out your morning with one content, completely shift and change throughout the day? One time it's positive and great, next to you're bitching about your kids not murdering a cow in the kitchen because they cooked a steak. If I'm anxious, if I'm depressed, like your mood's up and down, right? Well, you're claiming no ownership of them, not because you put yourself online, not because you ruined your kids' lives by putting it online. Everyone else is the problem because they won't stop covering the last 2 years of your antics, right? Last year especially. About a year ago is when she posted the fight with Sven.
Connection over that. But there could be a month where I'm being a brain rot millennial, posting brain rot millennial 4 videos, being goofy, singing. I would attract an audience who builds a connection off of how I portray myself. Oh, she's crazy. She's kind of funny. This is crazy. And they continue repeatedly watching my content. My live streams overall are the same. That's one niche I'm good at. I love live streaming. I love being myself. And through my live streams, an audience builds a connection through me just being myself. And I'm vegan. It's totally me, right? Sometimes I'm not in the mood to make vegan recipe videos. Some months
I have brain tumors. I can't cook very often. I cook more than she does. By far. By far, I cook more than she does. And cooking to her is taking things out of a package and buy it from a link in my bio because that's how she makes the most money, right? She couldn't get you to buy from a link in her bio if it was like flour. I was saying egg, but vegan egg, right? Nope. Doesn't teach you how to make vegan stuff, which would actually be educational. Just yells at everyone to go vegan, which is like the opposite of helping people go vegan and encouraging them to. She's turned Sven into a carnivore, right? Her son's just like, we're gonna bite my teeth into a cow because this is his mother.
I am. Some months I want to vlog all of my vegan groceries that month and I'll post repeatedly like 50 videos a month. But
showing how you starve your son, yeah, you will post it. In fact, you won't post anything that isn't vegan coming into your house. That's worrying considering your son is opposed to being vegan, does not like vegan, will not eat vegan. And, you know, growing boy, making the world his problem. You're helping. We're going to Shorts just so we can see.
I just ordered vegan.
She orders vegan pizza. I don't even know how many times, right? And everything's vegan, vegan, vegan. Can't say it's pizza, and everyone knows she's vegan, so of course it's vegan, right? She has to say that, which for pizza I kind of get, right? But like everything, vegan blow dryer, vegan house paint. It's like you don't even know when half these things are actually vegan because I don't think you understand what vegan is aside from food.
But in this case, he just needs to go, and they can totally provide you with a constable and all that good stuff. But whatever, I don't know. I could be wrong. I knew you were trolling me this whole time, trying to get in my.
We do this. Shorts. Hold this. Let's do this.
Hi YouTube. If you haven't seen a surge of TikTokers grow of their new.
I was like, I wish there was another option. Jubilee, there's popular. Jubilee, there's popular. All right, let's watch. This is going to be random, right? She'll have 5 or 6 of the same one. She has, look how many videos she has up here, 813. Most of them are just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, which wouldn't be a problem if she didn't have everything else that Adrielle does, right? Well, she's claiming to be the expert. Wouldn't be throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. They would have figured out what sticks already.
This car's fucking stuck, and they're laughing. Like, I don't understand. No, don't do it. No, they're gonna hit the house. Who got kidnapped? And why is there a fundraiser? Is there a fundraiser to find Adrielle? Chat, have I gone missing? Who's gone missing? How much money are they raising? Who got kidnapped? And why is there?
So the driver delivers it to the wrong house, spills it all over the set. This is terrible. And then they wonder why.
Again, she's throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. Nothing sticks because it's all boring, right? It's like, here's my takeout. Here's something. Like, it's like just 10 seconds out of her life. Here I am in the car. You're like, none of it's riveting. None of it. Like, but well, she's saying, you think you know me? I mean, we've been with you all day. We've seen what you've done and not done. What don't we know, Adrielle? We know when you get your period. We know when you free bleed on the couch. We know when you don't chew with your mouth closed and think that that's somehow a fucking political statement. Well, every time she cooks, orders, anytime she eats, she has to film it. And you get ready with me. Well, she's berating people who won't shower for the day. She's like, no, I don't think that's right for your hair and body, actually. Every single day. Stripping it, whatever.
I complain.
I don't like it. When I launched my vegan grocery haul, I just ordered from Instacart. Let's get the vegan groceries. Here's the groceries. Oh my god. Disregard the spilled coffee bag over there. I'll pick it up later.
Because it's social media content, right? She opens the door, then sets the camera up, records her bringing it in, records her. This is 3 different Is it in one take, or did she like put the bags over there and then do it? I don't know. I don't care actually, but like riveting. How do I do it, Adrielle? How do I be as successful as you? And ironically, she is helping me. That's why there's more shorts on this. Because I'm like, how the fuck does she get views? Oh, she's putting up shorts. Because she's putting up shorts. We'll put up shorts. Yeah.
Now I'll show you what's in all these grocery bags. Number 1, chips, Whole Foods brand 365. All these groceries you can buy from the link in my bio. Vegan M&M's, vegan gluten-free cake mix waffle mix by the brand Simple Mills. Let's do this heavy bag. It's so heavy.
I got your niche free, hey Drill. Got your niche free, not this to me, but used to have money, no longer have money, still want to live vegan, have a kid who doesn't want vegan. How do you, as a mother, feed your family within budget, within their dietary needs, right? That could be like, you could actually cook from scratch. Teach Sven how to cook for himself, right? Because you don't want to cook non-vegan. You are going to need to let your kitchen get non-vegan. Get him a hot plate, I don't care, right? Like not in Israel, that sounds unsafe. But like, you know what I mean? Find something that works for your family that isn't starving your son and doing weird as fuck vegan hauls when you know Sven isn't vegan. Actually, right? This is like $500 worth of groceries while you're begging for money when you just bought meta glasses, right? It's a weird combination of like, we just spent $5,000 on Invisalign and also I can't afford my lawyers that I brought into my life. Anyway, you could save money, right? Now you'd have to not have the link in your bio, which you're not really not making any money from anyway, right? You'd have to actually build a platform on veganism, on teaching people how to cook, on how to work with people who aren't vegan, who are your son, right? Like actual content, not big as fuck vegan is not turning anyone vegan, except for children. I mean, they're gonna be vegan for a day or not. They'll be vegan for life, but they would have come across a different one who actually teaches them how to cook and eat healthy. Like that literally is just processed crap.
Oh, iced coffee by the brand Pop and Bottle. Vegan butter by the brand Earth Balance. Here, let me bring you closer to the vegan grocery bag. Bio Life vegan cheese. Strawberries.
Oh, I don't know if the salad mix counts. Does the salad mix count? I was like, oh, we got like a natural actual ingredient, a strawberry picked from a field. Go Adriel, not manufactured, not processed. The salad, I feel like kind of is.
Salad mix. Green beans. My daughter loves green beans. My middle daughter vegan. Hummus. We love hummus around here. This is just original hummus by the brand Whole Foods 365. Blueberries. Salad dressing. The brand is called Agatha Green Vegan Goddess.
Each their own. We all have our own taste. The amount of condiments she poured, like ketchup, she puts on. She's the worst spokesperson. As she's eating with her mouth open and it's falling out of her mouth and it looks like me. I don't care. Like it looks like chewed up food. Well, she uses an entire bottle of ketchup like every week. To each their own, by all means. But maybe don't eat it on camera with your mouth open as it's pouring out of you.
Salad dressing. Next batch. I don't know how fast I can do this. Vegan pizza, gluten-free, brand Daya. Vegan spicy breakfast sausage by the brand Beyond. Vegan gluten-free cheese sticks. I'm gonna try these new jackfruit vegan breakfast sausages by Jack and Annie's. I've never tried jackfruit vegan sausage, so that's gonna be interesting. I might have to make a part 2 of this video, so I only have 3 minutes. Okay, bag number 3. There's still 4 more bags. I have 2 bottles of Sun water. Bag number 4. And I'm running out of time. We have red potatoes, organic, because they ran out of regular. Roma tomatoes. Drop the Roma tomatoes. And avocado, half avocado. Okay, I have 1 pound of banana. I didn't need 1 single banana, but this works. Okay, I'm gonna make another video. Vegan grocery. I have a lot to say about the either hacker or dirty employee at TikTok who keeps banning my account.
Israel just gave back 2-3 days ago, and had a 20,000. It was between 10 and 20, I believe, thousand person account on TikTok. I was like, I got my account back, but none of my videos are here to talk the same name, weird. And then got banned again. She is banned from TikTok. Her face is banned from TikTok. And she's like, I don't know what's happening. You're perma-banned, and you keep evading the ban. Adriel, you're like a. Because it's the only place she made money, so she keeps being like, I'm done with TikTok. They'll never get me. They're just gonna have to beg me to come back. Wait, I'm suing them, and they're my employer. And girl, you need to maybe get a. They don't have them anymore. Book for Dummies on parasocial relationships and how to be an influencer. Used to have the like Book for Dummies. There was another series that was like called Dating for Idiots. Miss those books.
And I'm gonna post all my content to YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and I'm live streaming on Favorited. I'm live streaming on YouTube. I'm gonna wait and see how my attorneys handle this. There is some serious deep-seated corruption happening at TikTok, and I hope my attorneys bring this to light. I have a lot to say about the either hacker or. I've been a raw fruitarian.
I love because this is what sticks, right? What she finds works is rage and gross out bait. It's why she talks with her mouth open. It's why she does all this shit because she's like, look at my armpits. I'm the only. She'll go back and forth between pretending she doesn't notice she has armpit hair, so that other people will, and then be like, I'm the only person in the whole world who's a woman and has blonde armpit hair. You're a mammal. We grow hair.
Vegan for 48 hours and my armpits smell like fruit. A lot of people ask, Adriel, why don't you wear deodorant and why don't you shave your armpits? Well, the two are not connected. I don't shave my armpits for aesthetic reasons. I think they look good. I don't wear deodorant, and I've said this several times, because if you smell bad in your armpits, that means you're putting something in your body that's toxic, and your body is releasing those toxins. You smell like what you eat. And being a raw vegan.
Smelling like fruit? That's SBO? Nope. Just no, no, Adriel. Absolutely not. Gross.
Not
gross. I don't find armpit, whatever. Our bodies are our bodies. Our bodies do what they do. But like Adriel's insistence that she doesn't smell, or her kids are literally like, no comment. Well, she asks them on camera. It's like,
The day has finally come. My son got Invisalign. He's wearing trays, and when you have Invisalign, they change trays every week. So he's wearing the first set of trays. It's so cool. I'm going to talk more about Invisalign once we get home. And it's all paid up now. Oh my gosh. I'll just have to pay for the retainers once the Invisalign
I don't know if she actually, I don't think, whatever. She paid $5,000 for Invisaligns, and I don't think, like, this is the content she made. I don't think she made more content after this. I don't think Sven wants to be in content, understandably. And you know what I mean? Like, he's still in it, even if he's not in it. You're talking about his teeth, his medical practices, and you just don't understand. Adriel, this is the least she's done, right? Like, one, it's the most she's done for him, spending $5,000 on his teeth. Well, she's been claiming she's going to do that for a year, while she was making tens of thousands of dollars a month on TikTok. Still, right? A few months ago, it was like, I can swipe and pay for 2 CBS employee salaries for the day, for the year.
process is over. He's gonna have a permanent bar in his teeth. so that he doesn't experience this. Because this is what happened to me once I had braces. I didn't have a permanent retainer. More to come. See you soon. The day has
An employee at GoFundMe is asking me to show him screenshots of my checking account.
This whole GoFundMe thing that she put up around I think it was around Sven's birthday. Whatever. Her like all she had to do was prove her like regular, very normal GoFundMe. She just didn't take the money. So they were like, we don't have a bank account associated with this. They emailed her. She didn't respond. So instead of taking being like, oh well, let's taking any ownership, she blames it on GoFundMe. They're scamming her. No, this wasn't a take. You have had many a takedown from GoFundMe because they claim you're lying about raising it for legal fees or moving because it's always legal fees are astronomical. But moving doesn't cost $30,000, right? And then you go on vacation right after begging for that money and she makes headlines with begging for money. That is what Adrielle Sigler is known for when you search her in the news on Google regularly. Is starting GoFundMes. But this one seems to be just a regular admitted you, Adrielle. You didn't provide your information. Like now they want my bank account.
First, I received an email that I have to verify I've spent $20,000 on attorneys. So I submitted receipts where the law firm billed me. There were 3 receipts. They all added up to $19,550. The receipts show the law firm's name, my bill, my due date, and how much I paid, and the date and time and the receipt number. I submitted 3 copies of the receipts and 1 legal document from my attorney so that this representative can contact.
Which, I mean, the reason we smell is because we have bacteria in our armpits. It's not going away. It's, you know what I mean? Like, we get it at puberty. It hangs out. I'm sure we have bacteria for that. It doesn't smell. Some of our smells were, like, being vegan is going to change it, but it's still there. You still have it. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Her entire, like, everything she says about veganism. Her raw fruitarian that she does for a day. She goes on a diet for a day. Her, like, it couldn't be unhealthy. It's vegan. It's just, again, she's trying to attract in children and trying to turn everyone vegan. You're the worst spokesperson for veganism. The worst. Like, your meals don't look good. You don't look good. You make veganism look horrible, actually, Adrielle.
Contact my attorneys. So then this GoFundMe representative emails me back and says he wants to see a screenshot of my bank account. My bank account is none of your business, buddy. And then this GoFundMe representative says he wants to see the invoice from my attorneys. All the invoices that break down the payments. I can't do that. That's attorney-client privileged information. It's confidential.
Just because you say things to a camera and put them online doesn't make it true, Adrielle, right? Ellie does this too. It's like, look, proof. I said Jubilee was scary 2 years ago. You saying it into a camera, no matter who it's about, no matter who it's to, is not proof, Allie Priestley. It might have been proof in the Todd and Georgia cult, who just believes Allie in her word, right? And she has like cookie all over her face. I never ate the cookies. It was Autumn. I made the cookies. Autumn, you're grounded.
There is an ongoing case. It would violate attorney-client privilege laws. Unless you're a court, law enforcement, my attorney, me, or a judge, you are not entitled to an attorney-client privilege information invoice. If you've ever had an attorney, you know on the invoice, each legal fee has a synopsis and summary of what they were working on. That includes incriminating details, names. It could include addresses, phone numbers.
You get GoFundMe and publishing it on GoFundMe's site, right? They're not asking for it to put it up in the bio. They're asking to prove it behind the scenes, right? And those I can't. They want me to prove I spent money on what I said I spent money on because people are claiming I didn't spend it on lawyers. Happy Mother's Day. I don't have anything planned for Mother's Day. That'll probably be a rather low-key day, much more low-key than last year when I was in the hospital. But I mean, you know, when you're a single mother, there's no one to plan it.
I am not allowed to share that privileged information to anyone but my attorneys, or law enforcement or court. So this is crazy. So I emailed back this guy at GoFundMe and I CC'd my attorneys and I said, heck no way. You saw the receipts. You saw the name of my law firm and you can call my attorneys. So meanwhile, this guy refunded everyone who donated to my GoFundMe. That's crazy. An employee at GoFundMe.
I'm vegan. And did you ever wonder why one side of the potato chip is salty when the other side is not salty? That's the salty side. That's the not salty side. So I would put the salty side on my tongue.
To save on salt, because they salted one side and didn't flip it and do it on the other. Out of all the things I've wondered in the manufacturing process, why the fuck it's salty on one side? Nope, haven't. Because they save money, Adrielle.
Your boring fence, our gorilla heavy duty.
Sticking out my yacht for the Rizzler. This, and I'll twirl my hair if I have a crush. I have a crush. Come watch my live, which she still does constantly on this one. She's like, click the pink circle. There is no pink circle on YouTube unless you're on someone's bio, right? You can, like, it's different. It doesn't show up here when she's live. It shows up here along this. You can't see my mouse along the side. Anyway, this is what 90% of her content on TikTok was. Trying to attract 13-year-old boys, being like, no, it's 18 plus. She now has an OnlyFans account, is vaping constantly and still making this content. What claiming she's trying to be professional influencer. This is her job. Treat it with respect.
So skibbity, so phantom tax, I just wanna be your Sigma. Hi, I'm Adrielle, and I'm going live to eat vegan minestrone soup that I made yesterday from scratch on YouTube Live. You can watch all of my YouTube Live replays in my YouTube video playlist. I'm glad we have this chat now. Click the pink circle, and thanks for following me. Bye. Would you believe me if I said this is vegan? I just made a vegan jackfruit salad on YouTube Live. And I'm gonna be sharing lots of vegan recipes with you on YouTube Live, like this delicious.
She made herself a vegan tuna on her birthday and got in a fight with her mom because she called it vegan tuna. That had an entire 4-hour conversation with her mom, and then whatever, a day or so later. Do I believe that's vegan? Yes, you're eating it. It's falling out of your mouth. It's almost certainly disgusting and vegan. Not because it's vegan, it's disgusting because it's falling out of your mouth.
Just vegan jackfruit salad. Somewhat. My story as an influencer on TikTok who has been severely cyberbullied is just getting bigger as days go on. I've been abused, treated unfairly, victimized from any angle I could possibly imagine. I've been extorted. I've been blackmailed. As a result of blackmail, because I didn't comply, someone paid a dirty employee to ban my social media account. I lost 2 million followers in 2 weeks, less than 3 weeks. That also included my Snapchat with 700,000 followers. And while I fight for my accounts back in court, because I have sought legal representation, I will be blogging and posting content to YouTube. I'll be live streaming and battling on a new app called Favorited. Thank you for all who support me on TikTok that found me on YouTube. Just because criminals are winning at being criminals right now, and a group of disgusting cyberbullies are cheering each other on in the current moment, doesn't mean that I'm going to lose this fight. I will combat cyberbullying, blackmail, extortion, and all the abuse I've been through the best of my ability legally. And thank you for everyone who's supporting me, following me, and advocating for me. I think if you could use your TikTok accounts to advocate for me and post on my behalf to expose this corruption, this social media corruption that happens to influencers on a daily basis, that will bring awareness to the situation.
What are they supposed to say? What are they supposed to actually put online? Stand up for me, defend me! Because you are completely horrible, racist, anti-Semitic. You were horrible, Adriel, shaking your butt after being, I can't in a schoolgirl uniform. Corruption! You permabanned, Adriel. Your accounts get taken down all this. We're just gonna quickly watch. Let's see what Adriel has been up to for the last 24 hours. No, this is from a day ago. But hey, so Adriel, this is what she was up to the day before yesterday. Let's put the Adriel drunk on platforms. It's just a quick 3-minute recap, so I need to watch her across 20 social media platforms that she tells everyone where she's going live, and then it's like, how did you guys show up here? Why are my haters here? Because you posted on 20 different social media platforms that you were going live on Favorited.
Might be a little drunk over on Favorited, and apparently when she drinks, the lies just spew out of that woman's mouth. It's just not really that different from her everyday life, but it just seems to come easier for her this way. And she's going on and on about how the account that she just had was really her account. Because, she's from the UK. We didn't see with our own eyes the ranks or anything. And she's going on and on about this TikTok manager she just picked up, and how she swears that was an old account. How this guy got this account back for her and had no idea about the vegan's account. How the fuck? That would be hard to do. So I want to see it. I guess you do. So I'll tell you, which is rare for me, but I'm going to like it. Yep.
By the attorneys, and got my son is Invisalign, and the credit card transactions for all the groceries, that racks up. I'm like, fuck, I have thousands of dollars I owe, so I gotta.
Has it been hurt? I wish she did more regular videos on YouTube because there's so many shorts, it's really impossible to find any of them. But her freaking out at the credit card and bank. One, her conclusion that banks need to be open 24/7 so she can just walk in and deal with it's like, do you live in the 1970s when they weren't open on Sundays? And I can't. That's what an ATM is for. She bought $5,000 Invisalign, didn't okay it with her bank, right? Didn't say, hey, this is a one-time big purchase. It was flagged. They almost certainly emailed her, called her, she didn't answer, and it's all their problem. Always on them, never on her, right? For not deal. So it got refunded or it got rejected. So she had to repay for it. She had to deal with the shit because she didn't deal with the shit. And she said to spend cry now or cry later, Adriel. I need to find a banking one after me.
Focus on making content and live streaming. Yeah. And I was really excited that I got my TikTok account back. And hopefully it comes back again. So there's a TikTok manager who reached out to me regarding my account. And I responded to the email. I opened the link, which was not a hacker link. It was a TikTok link. That's why I opened it. I'm not dumbass about links. And I was able to reactivate my account, but it was wiped. The username was literally user and a bunch of numbers. My bank account information was deleted. It was like the app. It was so weird though because there were likes, but none of my videos were there. None of the likes or saved videos there. Everyone I followed was gone. But I still had some followers. So I changed the username to Vegan Raise back because all the Vegan Raise options are taken. Then I got wiped. So this guy, the TikTok manager, sent
Lies. Look into those eyes. Literally, that account was called Wealth of Time. It was not user number 74. That fucking account had a name. It came with fucking followers that weren't yours. Like, the fuck? And the fact that you think that you can knock a few back and convince us is hilarious. There's actual fucking proof, okay? Documented proof. So, there's that. She also battled Ashley Trevino a little while ago, but I just didn't watch it. I only watch most reasons too, so there's that. Plus, I have eyes everywhere. So, I'll catch you guys later. I'll keep you up to date. So, Adriel might be a
I literally just searched for bank on her account. One came up, which is good because usually it's just the name. I didn't remember what date. Sorry, just the date or just Adriel is live. But this one actually does say something about bank. So perfect. April 29th. That's the day I called the police on me and then posted about people and violence.
I'm so mad. I was supposed to be live battling, but I had to call my bank because I went.
Adriel thinks influencer is a career. That she is the only one she will pursue. The only one she can be successful at. The thing she is most successful at. And she does it 70 hours a week. And you owe her because she does it 70 hours a week. While she doesn't understand actually added value, right? People who are actually employed by a bank, who actually have to go into work. She's like 24/7. People at the school, when she lost her son till 5 p.m. and then at 5 p.m. was like, where's my kid? Well, you guys shouldn't leave the school until every kid is home. What would that look like, Adriel? Do you call the school every day to let them know your kid's home safe? No, you don't, right? That would be a lot of bureaucracy. This banking, well, she's claiming TikTok's her employer and owes her all the things, right? And we owe her all the things because she made money and made problems on it online. So the internet owes her health benefits, I guess. I don't know.
To a coffee shop to get coffee, and my credit card was declined. So I had to use my other credit card, thank God. And so I called, my credit card has been getting declined, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I called the bank, and it was because a large amount of money was spent and a large amount of money was returned when I made a payment.
I remember the two big payments I had every year: tuition, car insurance payment. And when I would go in, because the swipe was beyond the limit for the day, right? You had to call and be like, yes, there's going to be a big payment. So they would let it go through. Adriel did none of that. And she also showcases $5,000 is not a normal payment for Adriel. They declined $5,000, right? She's acting like that. That's just, she's never said, this is a big payment for her. It's a big payment. $5,000 is a lot of money. But like her, like, I'm so rich, look at my $1 million home. Oh my God, my bank flagged a $5,000 payment. If she was buying burger bags, vegan burger bags every month, right? They wouldn't, because she'd be rich. And they'd know.
So last week, I bought my son Invisalign this month. It's just like fucking crazy how banks do this. Okay, so I bought my son Invisalign. I went to pay off my full credit card balance, and it was over a certain amount, and banks have limits. So it returned the payment, which flagged the system for my credit card and froze my account. Mind you, I have more credit available. Let's pretend I have $10,000 credit limit, and let's pretend the transaction was $7,000. You get what I'm saying? So there's still $3,000 available credit, but it got returned. So a few days later, I divided the payments in half. So I paid half. So it was under the amount that's a limit that would cause it to be returned. So I had all the credit available because I already paid half, and I'll just pay the other half in a couple days. So I'm on the phone verifying that it was in fact me. And yeah, I just don't understand. Like, let me rewind. My bank account got froze over this too. So my credit card and my bank both got frozen over this. And like, had I not have 2 bank accounts and 2 lines of credit, I would have been screwed. That's crazy. It's crazy. And since when is a few $1,000s a large amount of money? It's 2025. Inflation is through the roof. If you're spending a few $1,000s in the year 2025 in the United States, that's normal.
No, Adriel, if it was normal for your account, you just said, right, 5,000. I split it into 2 over 2 days. 2,500 is still a lot to go through an account, unless it's not, and it goes through a lot. It doesn't in your case, right? You showcase every big purchase you make. The guitars, the glasses, bad purchases for somebody claiming they need money for Invisaligns, need money for legal bills, from people who are struggling to buy eggs. You know what I mean? It's like, what? Oh, why would the limit be X amount, thousands of dollars? And why wouldn't they just text me to confirm it's me? Suspicious activity. So text the person. Text me on the phone so I can approve it. What the fuck? I know some people whose rent is like $5,000 a month and they spend like $10,000 a month. Okay, I understand a lot of people in rural America have a lower cost of living, but most people live in major cities, metropolitan areas, they're in urban areas where the cost of living is just higher. So it's like there's more people. Like, venting online as an influencer is actually like, influencers, actual influencers, have a lot of power to tank a business or promote a business, save or tank one with their word, depending on what they say and what their experience is. Adriel's experience is going in and like, that's her reputation online, is her going in and attacking businesses, any business, for any slight they've done to her and posting it online. It's never her, right? It's the bank, and it's GoFundMe, and it's TikTok. Okay, all right. Well, in the United States, who spend like $10,000 to $20,000 a month, I don't know, maybe there's not, I don't fucking know. Obviously, 20 million people live in New York City, and the average rent in New York City is, let's see, what's the average rent in New York City? Average rent in... You don't live in New York City, you live in Pittsburgh. Why? Grin Spreading Lies, 2.9 thousand followers, more copy on that. Oh, good, they're still at it. We did just, they ordered yesterday, they had a little cameo because Dahmer was brought up. Dahmer was come up in the Signs and Symbols. Oh no, he was in a song. He's in a Katy Perry song. He's in a Katy Perry song. Well, I was on my walk. Dark Horse came on, and it has Dahmer in it. New York City is $4,000 a month, and they live for like a 1 or 2 bedroom. You have a 3 bedrooms, like $6,000, $8,000 a month. So it's like obviously 20 fucking million people are spending thousands of dollars a month on rent. Like, banks need to like acclimate to inflation to just like prevent all of this hassle. In my humble opinion, what a pain in the ass.
Hey,
Right. Well, I was going to say we're going to go, but clearly we're waiting for that. So what are we going to watch in the next half an hour until it's up and available? Goody goody. It's almost certainly about the war she started yesterday and about how I don't have brain tumors. Or she didn't mention me. It's bad, or it's crazy, ridiculous shit about me, or ignoring me 100% and I don't exist. There's no in between with Allie. Well, she's claiming to be the victim of me. So much fun, that Allie. Adriel, I can't believe that happened to you. You really went through some true hardship, and I know it was a real intense struggle for you. We should send Adriel money. I know. Everyone get on Favorite and go send her some pixie dust and a Cupid's wing, and I don't know what their little things are. I know. Since we're waiting for Allie to have posted stories, let's go and hear what she had to say about me 2 years ago, because the other ones aren't up. But look what happens when you look at Smoothie throwing Allie has a YouTube account. Allie Priestley doxed. Jubilee Sees Lies. Jubilee Sees Lies. There's a lot of Jubilee Sees Lies. Almost certainly, I mean, it's also on my account. So videos, and there we go. This is like 15 minutes, so this one she goes off for 2 hours. Yesterday we rewatched our one-on-one, which happened 6 months from then, right? June, July, August, September, October. 5 months. 5 months later on October 1st. Allie and I have a one-on-one, and then October 7th happens, and the next year and a half ensues. A year ago, she gets me put in a psych ward that she's taken no ownership of. She's just reconstructed it in her head so that she's in no way responsible whatsoever, and I'm 100% responsible for all of the shit that's gone on in her life. You know what I mean? Like, restructured. More stories from Allie. Never posts about us, always ignores us. In a nutshell, she was officially removed from being a ranger after results of investigation. She went on Facebook to tell everyone she resigned in a long rant. Oh, I saw the long rant, actually, I think, which is almost certainly a screenshot of it. But I need a personal assistant so that we can save the world through mean girl drama. Organized mean girl drama. It has 114 likes. Oh, and we have 14 viewers. Good times.
Only psychologically extremely unstable or is in some sort of a I'm not a mental health professional. I don't like commenting these kind of things, but this person is unwell, like in a scary.
4 months after she was dancing around in a cop hat with spiritual psychosis under my picture, making fun of me, right? In her video that's on YouTube, January 22nd, 2023. This is May 18th, 2023. Claiming I'm dangerous. We already clearly established. Allie Priestley has the clear history of violence. I am weird. It's not illegal to be weird. Let's keep it not illegal to be weird, and let's keep the world safe from the Allie Priestleys, both from smoothies and potential mass murdering events in the future that Allie keeps claiming I am Ruby Frank. I am the woman who pushed her kids out of the car. I'm these people. Well, she's the victim. She's Aubrey Wyatt. She's the enforcer. She's these people who were pushed to the taking their lives. She was victimized by Taylor dying. Instead of she victimized a dying, I don't even want to call it, like, I don't think she was his friend. I don't think she's been anyone's friend. People have been her friend. Overly so, right? Given her more labor, more emotional labor, more financial labor, more stuck to her words than she deserves. But that's our lessons and journey of figuring out that Ali Priestley is the menace and then watching her menace. Well, she claims to be the victim. I'm psychic. That's clearly what's in the stories. Can you imagine? Ali's like, eyes have grown. Here's all the lessons I've learned. Here's what I'm not doing in the future. Here's my little chart of spiritual things I agree with and political things I agree with and disagree with, and to each their own. Then Jubilee dies of a heart attack. I don't know. I was like, I could handle aliens. I could handle ghosts. I could handle like all of the breaking down of reality that we're told isn't true. But like, I've been waiting so long for Ali's growth that like any growth forward does feel like a fucking miracle. Like it breaks reality. Like it's not actually a possibility.
Scary state. And it hasn't changed, right? This is clearly who they are. This has been going on for months. Jubilee is not okay. Something is very, very off. Just the way she speaks to me and about me. And
I'm on you. A week ago, she called the cops on me. After a year ago, she called the cops on me and everything that ensued because of that. What? You are messing with forces you can't imagine. Silly goose. So dangerous. So dangerous. What is she implying with that? What did she not zoom out and show she said? The fuck that she corrected, right? And all the tirade about me and my parenting and attacking my child on April 30th, 2023. 18 days before she releases this video. After, at the beginning of May, I went on a trip and she was like, just come to Colorado, I'm going to stab me. I know it. Nope.
And her mission from God, she tells me all the time that I'm messing with forces I can't even imagine. And that I have a horrible mission from God because I'm a horrible person. I mean, and then if you're going to say, I'm on whatever from God, God handed Ali to me. And then in the next sentence, she says, I want her deplatformed. And you know what I mean by that.
I'll continue. So Ali's, it's like, right, I've been very clear what I mean by deplatformed. Which we just listened to yesterday. I cleared up in our one-on-one, right? This was Jubilee early 2023 thinking Ali deplatformed with a fucking solution instead of a smoothie causing bum punching disaster of a human being, right? And that doesn't mean she gets her platforms and gets to just la into influencer tirades on anyone she wants to weaponize herself that day. I'm just the other part, chronicling her antics. That's it. It is not safe for a following, and a following is not safe for her. You simply move on. Thanks for your not moving on. But if you want to have a one-on-one conversation, we could do that later when my kid's off at school or tomorrow at some point.
Ali doesn't deserve to have a voice or be on the internet or anything. What does that mean? Jubilee acts like people aren't putting two and two together. Just because you don't say you want me dead, like those words didn't come out of your mouth yet, which I'm sure they have to other people, but just because you aren't saying publicly that because you know you'll get in trouble for that, you have to skirt around it. You have to say things.
The things she has said in the last month, the reposts, the direct threats, the lives, making her lives private finally, but like after they were there so long, showcasing the timeline of Katie Felton and Ali Priestley's involvement and arrangement and lies and involvement in both what happened to me in May, but what happened to Ali, what happened in Katie, like let's have a forget timeline event. It's so hard to stay focused because of course you find something else relevant and wind up in a different rabbit hole. I know. Day in and day out. I mean, I end up in all the like world event rabbit holes. Eventually we will watch the car videos here when I want to, when I feel it's relevant. Like not it's relevant. It's definitely relevant. We're ADD in our big world piece. That's not what I want to tackle directly right now for some reason. And Grace being a fucking nightmare of a human being I didn't even know existed, even though she was on my channel and I was dealing with BB, Grace, as the anonymous human being. Both that she could be someone we know, and what I thought was more likely was a different person we didn't know. The understanding that Car and Grace knew each other the whole time, were interacting with each other the whole time, and the shit show both of those humans create together for fucks and giggles, and if there are a few people like them out there who do this kind of thing, like they're not alone. Ali Priestley finding out about them might, what's the word? It might have the opposite impact, but it can also deactivate Ali because she finally has someone to blame that has been doing what she says, one person organizing, right? I did rank Grace. I did. The horrific human beings that exist that Ali does imply onto all of us, right? They're on Reddit, bored about life, taking out their trauma on other people. They might comment, they might not. They might have a voice and a name, they might not. We have to work with the people the creator put on this planet now, which are the horrible instigators, which are Shiloh, who's now going to be a millionaire from hate speech on a 2-year-old autistic child. And he's who I care about, not Shiloh. I care about the impact Ali's going to have because of Grace and Car's behavior for the last 2+ years directly. You are Legion. Maybe they are Legion. Maybe there's dozens of them. My guess is it's 2 horrible human beings. Maybe Car's partner too. Who knows? Who else?
Things like, well, death isn't that big of a deal, and we all have to die eventually. And if you think that suicide is a beautiful thing, and I tell you that you pushed me to the point where I almost took my own life and seriously harmed myself.
Grace, you can stop giving me the lesson you think you've been giving me on hypocrisy, as I've been claiming hypocrisy and being the Jubilee. You're a horrible human being. Go sit with it somewhere else or be here and make a fool of yourself some more. Either or. You do you.
And you say, yeah, I'm not going to stop. You don't deserve an apology for that. You were faking that. You should have been able to handle my abuse. And I am not going to stop. And you are saying in so many words that you are sent by God to silence me. What are you saying, Jubilee? What are your actions? You don't get to act like your actions have no consequences in the world. Right?
You are hell-bent that I am doing some dangerous thing in the world. What are you doing? You want one person to be quiet.
I'm creating world peace and a world that works for everyone, including you nightmare of a human being. That's both Ellie and Grace.
You are obsessed with me. A lot of people don't know that they're about to murder someone when they're about to murder someone. And it is escalating. I can see the speed of her speech escalating. I can see how her anger escalating, her threats are escalating. And yesterday, for the first time, I actually watched some of her videos. I have only seen short TikToks. I've only seen scary clips. I have tried to ignore Jubilee. That's why I don't include her in a lot of these videos, because she's actually scary. I had no idea that Jubilee not only made an entire YouTube channel about me, there's a YouTube channel called Mean Girls Are Sad Girls. And it's literally, she started it when she found me, because she says that she found me on her birthday. So I'm some sort of weird birthday present gifted to her by God. If you piece together all the things she's saying, that's exactly what she's saying. I'm a birthday present to her, meant for her to fill out her mission to silence me from, God. She can say till she's blue in the face, that's not what she's saying. That's what she's saying. And as her victim, she said boldly the other day that she's not a victim of me. And you aren't, and you know it.
I did claim that in May 2023. I no longer claim that Allie Priestley. Me, my family, my child have been a victim of Allie Priestley of Colorado. You, the individual, on or offline, the choices you've made. Not only did you make those choices in May, but a year from this, 2024, you made that same fucking horrific choice, the paid for video to go viral, hoping I can't, on April 29th. April 29th, Allie. A little over a week ago. Can't wait for your stories though, because I really do want to hear what Ellie has to say about Grace, because I didn't know Grace existed. And finding out someone existed, that someone you had considered a friend, was pretending to not know and fucking taking over your life with like and having back and forths with, when you guys are friends, annoys the fuck out of me. Like more than a betrayal. Like it's just what the fuck is with you, mosquitoes? Go do something else. We're creating world peace, and you haven't figured that the fuck out.
Wait. So no. Jubilee said she is not a victim of me, and I want everyone to hear that. Because that's the truth, and that's the only honest thing that I've ever heard come out of her mouth. And as your victim, I am terrified of you. As your victim, you have not respected one thing I have asked. I said months ago, we can all talk about each other. We can all speculate on.
Absolutely not. I hate peas. I hate cooked peas. Raw ones fresh from the garden. We can have world peas. Fresh. Nobody's allowed cooked peas because I hate cooked peas. Such a victim. Who? I'm drama triangling, TED talking, saying what I said in January 2023, before spiritual awakening, but still had aphasia. Still couldn't communicate, especially under stress. And Allie has just been a snowball of stress that you guys, Carr and Grace, kept adding more fuel to on purpose. Not fan. You might be my least favorite people.
On each other, we can all do this. But please don't say creepy things. She told me from the beginning that this was a God mission. And now she makes content about me. I had no idea. I finally checked out her YouTube yesterday because I was trying to block her from mine. Jubilee does she post 3 hours of content about me a day?
I mean, I got a TBI that has some memory issues. I get to rewatch most of what we're watching with fresh, always fresh eyes, because you're never stepping in the same river twice, right? You're always seeing it with fresh eyes, but like, truly seeing it with the hypocrisy hate group. Yep. We're the hypocrisy hate group. That is correct. Can't block people from YouTube. That is an engineering problem, in my opinion. I don't think so, actually. I think YouTube is publicly available content, except unlisted private, right? Like you have the option to make things members only, to make things other ways. But you also, blocking people on TikTok doesn't work. Like they make a new account in an instant. You can't block people. What's the fucking point? You just end up not being able to see their content. But the troll accounts, blocking the troll accounts makes no sense, because they're just mosquitoes that more of them come back. They get off. They're getting entertainment by hurting people. And they can do so anonymously, or they can come on with their full face and name repeatedly. Repeatedly.
You're posting. You have that much time on your hands that all you do is stalk me, admit to it, and then you're going to post content about me 3 hours a day. And I made the mistake of watching that live she did about me yesterday. Go watch the video that I posted on YouTube yesterday about her, where I made the mistake of being vulnerable once again. And then go watch the live where she talks to me back on Mean Girls Are Sad Girls. If you want an absolute expert.
Well, since the gang's here, right? The Carr and Grace, and we're waiting for Allie's stories.
I would do it again if somebody that I trusted.
I don't know, the Carr posted this on March 17th, probably not, it's probably the day before, but this is, let's watch.
Or had prior mutualship with, was engaging with someone who did to me what he did. You believe Samson's version of events, and that's okay, but I live the truth of what he did to my friends and I will always stand by the fact that I tried to learn about him. On the subject of Zajoynox or Zajonomicon, honestly and truthfully, I never once targeted them outside of when they told a neutral party that they wanted to exhume my mother and her corpse. Prior to that, I have supported them 100%.
So that's what you got on Zedgy, which is bullshit, right? Even if you kind of get the timeline straight, I do understand that that's just the thing. I even understood at the time that it was the thing you held on to, because it was the one that you had on Zedgy. But I think it was Britton Higgs that I saw a text from calling Zedgy out on that, right? Because they do. Zedgy's someone you can tell them when they've done something wrong, right? And they at least attempt to learn and grow, not fucking fake learning and growing, right? And making friendship and being a fake as fuck human being, which is my least favorite thing. My least favorite thing. Not a fan. Even I could see the red flags then. There was a red flag about Carr, but I let the red flag turn into a green flag. I did. I thought Carr was a good, genuine person. And was I wrong?
When I was engaged with the Reddit, I fought for them every day. I defended them every day. Any theory that suggests otherwise is purely conspiracy. And the only reason I stopped direct communication with them was because they started inviting people I did not trust, Samara and Hagster, into a private space. That's all. If they hadn't said that they wanted to desecrate my mother's remains, I never would have had a reason to address them publicly again. I went live this evening. An account I know to be Samara came into my life and took credit for Southern exposure. I have for months been convinced that Hags was creating these abusive accounts to rile you up because of her disdain for me, the same way she creates accounts on YouTube to troll Jubilee. It was the only explanation that made sense because obviously I knew I was not behind them. I have been convinced for months that Hags was secretly the actual drama farmer, but now I realize that both Hags and I were wrong to be pointing fingers at each other. What I truly believe is that Samara has a relationship with the Reddit moderators who are in charge of the ASAC Reddits, and she has been perpetuating this drama from behind the scenes the entire time. This is purely speculation, not an allegation or assertion, just a hunch for legal reasons. Because this entire time, I thought Hags must be doing exactly that, while you all thought it was me. And I know what you're going to think. Why didn't you just talk to me? And as I pointed out, you didn't listen to me about Samson, and you've been trying to pin horrible, awful things on me that I have nothing to do with for months. So I responded in the only way I knew how, which was to try and share my truth time and time again. And often with attitude, because I was just as mad at you and Hags as you were at me. Your opinion of me was also directly influenced by Samson's hatred of me. And I can't and have verified that he lied to you about a lot, especially my involvement with Eric. And just to put that to bed once and for all, I did have a falling out with Eric. And I made the mistake of sharing that back and forth with Samson and other people from Samson's Discord at the time. And I asked them to not get involved specifically.
Perfect. We now have the stories up and ready to go. So I am going to X out of this one. We can watch that another day when the moment feels right. I mean, it's live on here. It's March 17th. Saw the name of it. That's not hard. What are we looking at? This one. As soon as I went to go find it, was ready to go. So yay, thanks.
Krissa messages Autumn Everland and is like, you need to take that video down. Like that video where she's doing a parody of Jubilee, and it sounds exactly like Jubilee, except for Jubilee says way crazier stuff. These women cannot handle being talked about at all, but they spend their entire lives trying to destroy me and destroy each other. Whoever's not a part of their little cult at the moment, they're talking shit about Hags now. These idiots just unravel and unravel and
Who's talking shit about Hags? I don't know. I don't know. Well, whatever. Let's listen. Maybe we should just listen. I'll just put up comments. I'll put up comments because
unravel, and now they're all like telling on each other. You guys are so fucking embarrassing. And the fact that any of these idiots say it wasn't me, it was them. Chris is like, it's Car and Grace, Allie. They've been doing this to you. No, actually, it's all of you. It's an entire group of women who have nothing to fucking do all damn day. And if I had time, I would troll you guys back so hard just to give you a taste of your own medicine. But I actually have a life. I actually have jobs.
great. You do your life. Like Car and Grace be horrific human beings. Maybe go on to their next victim. Maybe on their, I mean, I've been their victim the whole time. Maybe they keep poking at you. Stop being able to be poked at is the main role for Allie. We're creating world peace on this channel. You are interwoven with the story. Car and Grace are interwoven with the story. Chris is everyone's interwoven with the story. This is the never-ending story. This is the documentary in the making. Do what you're going to do. It will be remembered. The truth will come to light.
I don't enjoy doing things like that. You guys have bullied me to the point that it will change my brain for fucking ever. I saw that message from Grace. There's this woman who's been behind the scenes for years, and I knew it was one fucking person. She is going to catch charges. Like, this is not, do not pass go. Like, this is not a question. I just have to get this in front of the right people. And Grace is going to be facing some serious shit. And she was bragging about how most of the times that I've had major fucking meltdowns, she was actually the person who was behind it.
Barnacles attach onto boats, onto whales. They have a symbiotic relationship with the whale, from what I understand. They do not have a symbiotic relationship with the boats. Because of course they change their dynamics, and they're getting food though. They're getting food. They're moving through the water, so they're getting something out of it. Barnacles, much like coral reefs, if you get scratched by them, are infectious, are very easy to get infected. And so, yeah, I think getting poked by the barnacles, right, is a cat scratch fever. Cat scratch fever. And we'll see how everyone will react.
And she was proud of herself. Like, I'm dealing with evil losers who enjoy bullying somebody about their physical appearance.
So, two of the people were the most bullying about Allie's physical appearance, and I didn't put up as many comments, but I did put up more comments than I probably should have, with Car and BB or Grace. When you bully anyone for their physical appearance, you're bullying everyone with that physical appearance. Allie and Autumn, with Allie, right? Back or whatever, the ableism that shows. Well, you're making fun of someone, claiming they're dangerous. If that's too many layers of ableism for you, I don't know. Find a friend to explain it to you.
Every move they make, that Grace girl was so a part of when I snapped mentally. And when you get the karma for that bitch, don't worry, I'm gonna make a whole fucking video about you, but when you get that karma anytime, you better fucking think of me. These women were...
I don't know who this is referring to, but I said Autumn's reposts look like Autumn's political values and potentially spiritual values don't align with Allie Priestley. That's what I said. And I think a lot of the people who are on this channel values align. And I also think some of our values don't align. That is the point. You find people who align more and more with your values. Understanding there's trade-offs. And that's in the Building Villages. I got on a tangent. Autumn's welcome, like anyone's welcome. Car, Grace, to come up on camera, have a conversation about anything. Be brave, right? Autumn herself said she would go back. I was like, really? We watched the videos earlier in this broadcast. The deep irony of Autumn being like, somebody needs to represent Allie on your channel. Cool, come on over, represent Allie. It doesn't work well because people parrot Allie's delusional version of reality up against my actual version of reality that does have weird signs and symbols as well. But I don't need to talk about the weird signs and symbols. I'm going to. It's my channel. I'm going to find my people. If the racist, fucking horrific Shiloh Hendricks can yell the N-word to become a millionaire based on cowardice $20, $10 donations from people who probably can't afford it, to back their hate with money, then I can find my people who can see the signs and symbols, what it means, and we can create the zero-state solution to world peace. That is what is happening. The Jubilee.
Choice when they push me over the edge, and then they go to the entire internet or whoever will listen to them. It's pathetic. They can't even get anybody to listen because this is so wrong and cruel and gross, and they're terrible at making content. These women pushed me to a breaking point behind burner accounts. Think it's fucking hilarious. Committed crimes, will not leave me alone for 2 years, and then they have the audacity to sit there and say that I'm violent, I'm crazy, I'm a criminal, I'm dangerous. No, you know what's fucking dangerous is grown-ass women who want to hurt other people. Grown-ass women who are so lonely and pathetic that they think sitting on Discord and having a hate group about somebody is fun.
Literally no one thinks having a hate group about anyone is. That's not true. There's people who absolutely do. Grace and Gar probably in the math of them. That's the human beings they are clearly. But like Allie, I'm the only one who's bored and lonely because I need an in-person village that I've been very clear about, right? I need people up on camera to be having conversation with, to feel like there's a presence of another human being. I need a village. The people on this channel are amazing human beings who've been here for one another and are a village. As much as you can be online, support one another, not hating Allie Priestley, right? The delusion you made up in your head that you're fighting against is a made-up delusion, partly put there by Car and Grace or other trolls. A collection of trolls, because that's what it is to be an online influencer, especially when you're such easy LOL cow material. Any poke by any barnacle, and you get a massive infection because you refuse to clean it, right? Just ignore reality, Allie.
You know what's dangerous is grown-ass women who pushed someone to the brink 2 fucking years ago, still being obsessed with her, still putting out lies about her, still not being able to go a moment without thinking about her. They talk about my reposts. They talk about my, like, every move I make, these women watch. And all they want is to hurt.
Every move I make that you record into your phone and upload onto your publicly available platforms, right? Not breaking into cameras at the gym. CCTV cameras around Colorado. Like, you have delusional disorder. You've somehow decided Sleuthie's a hacker, can get into unlisted videos and Roblox accounts. Which again, I also fell for a little bit. Yeah, no, Allie called the BPD last week. Bitch. I don't remember what I was saying.
Hurt me. And then if I say fuck all back, if we make a joke, if anything happens, they're like, oh, this is ableism. This is ableism. You guys can absolutely get fucked. Like, what? You are the terrorists of America. I can't even imagine being this fucked in the head. Oh my gosh, this makes me so fucking angry to talk about. How can you celebrate bullying someone to the point that they lose their mind? And then keep doing it for 2 years?
Allie fucking Priestley. I don't care about Allie fucking Priestley. You're the only one who needs to care about Allie fucking Priestley, and you might want to fucking start. Any day now. Any day you want to put your life, your parents' life, your house first, and not be a horrific human being online. Any day. Any day, Allie. Which is why, right, I'm not blocking Allie. Allie's introvert, like, what? I'll just put her away and not watch her. We're creating world peace. With whatever the creator gives, whatever the moment gives, whatever all of you do, that is what we're doing, right? Whatever Allie does, whatever Adriel does. People who put out publicly available online content, right? People who choose to do things with their full chest, hopefully. The thumbnail was a joke too, weirdo. I don't know. Why I don't is the question. Look at the results of being on your channel. What are the results of being on my channel? Creating friendship and community for people? Like, I don't know what your point is. Car didn't get friendship and community because they were a horrible person. They did for everything along the way, right? Just like Car wasn't friends to me. I was my current version of Car. Maybe the future version will be different, right? A lot of this is based on the fact that I found them to be a friend at one point in time. And the annoyance that they knew Grace the entire time and were having it out with Grace in my fucking comment section. Which was annoying when I thought they didn't know each other. Is about 20 times more annoying when they do know each other and it's a fucking show, a little play, right?
And she's the one, apparently, who's been taking my emails for 2 years. She has been harassing me by phone. Remember when Roxy and Emily were getting all those phone calls? And everybody said, oh, Allie's doing robocalling. I never did any of that shit. Any of it. It sounds like Grace has been. My dad also got harassed by her. Like, my mom got harassed by her. She has signed me up for the military, the Special Olympics. She'll send special messages to me like, hey, fatty, the military is waiting for you to come to your first appointment. Like, she would put in horrible things, like to bully my physical appearance in the name. So, like, if I got an email from an organization, it would be like, hey, dumb bitch, this is da-da-da-da-da. She signed me up for behavioral centers, psych wards. She has she has harassed me in such fucked up ways for 2 years. She takes things that she knows I'm insecure about and she puts them in burner accounts and puts them in reposts trying to get my attention. Like, this bitch is the most pathetic person on the planet, and I'm going to make an example of you. I'm going to make an example of you. Can you imagine being excited that you push somebody to a breaking point? And so many people got blamed for her and Carly's actions, but you know what? All of you don't get, Krista was like, oh, it's Grace and Carly who've been harassing you, Allie, not me, bitch. While in the same breath, she's like, but we did make those smoothie accounts just to spread awareness. No, that's called defamation and harassment. You guys aren't telling the story.
Allie, the smoothie account, whoever's behind it, is literally you with a filter on. That's what it is. That's it. That's defamation. You might go copyright, like something else. It's not your words out of your mouth. Yet you imply I'm dangerous. All these things that I've said that I haven't fucking said that you think I've repeatedly said. To you, whispered in your ear, put up speakers in your room somehow. Well, Kari Grace did do some weird shit.
Correctly, so that's fucking defamation. That is private fucking information that I told one fucking person. And if none of you have ever thrown something when you have...
Oh, sweet Allie, it's not defamation if it's true. You literally just said, she's like, it's defamation. I only told Hags, which she just proved the point, right? Just proved it. Like, it's like, no, it's not defamation if it's true. And like, how when Katie said she's seen pictures of my child with burns in a cage, I know it's a made up fucking lie, right? Never happened. And if Katie had seen something like that, she should have it and can show it. Because who the fuck made that, right? Your, I don't know what it was, but connect the dots yourself.
A actual mental health crisis, then you're not autistic. You don't actually have any mental health issues, and you've never been in the fucking world before. These people are saying things like I punched my mother in the face and threatened her with a knife. That never fucking happened.
Threatened yourself with a knife. Held a knife to yourself. Punched your mother in the face. Yeah, that is what I claimed, based on the information I have. That my brain's not going to let go of until I see definitive evidence the other way, because 2 years you held us responsible for your grown-ass adult mental health crisis. Well, causing mental health crisis, physical health crisis after physical, and financial health crisis after. You tried to do that and did do that in a lot of ways. Allie Priestley.
Krista is putting shit out like that and then saying, but I'm not the one. I'm not the one harassing Allie. I'm just spreading awareness that she's violent. You guys are out of your fucking minds. And you guys are gonna pay such hefty prices. And when Karma is already eating these people up. I mean, Zejanox looks like she's been eating lies.
You're on this account. This account that you're commenting on right now. Under the name Bemused. Under the name BB. Under the name Karma. All of them documented in videos on this channel. Grace at one point. You were Grace at one point on this channel. That Kara was pretending not to know. Well, you were BB.
With a side of Guinness. I mean, the alcohol is literally taking over your body. She looks like she's about to pop like a balloon. Rolling Rosemary's back. Oh my God. Yeah, let's finish this out because so many of you got to walk away because there were about 500 women who tried to take me down. And look who's still standing. Me. And these pathetic people have to sit on Jubilee's lives or just hanging on by a thread just to get a modicum of attention. It never worked. It will never work. And now I'm about to literally clear the fucking room with the truth. Finally. This video is for education.
For some reason, I thought that would be longer. We only listed for 10 minutes. Try and turn rocking. All right, well, I'm gonna end pretty soon. I think you think this makes me scarier than it does. The only thing I care about is that Car, again, pretended to be my friend, pretended not to know you. Well, you were all horrific human beings poking Allie, right? That you were also doing all the things she claimed was one human, that you made Allie right. You know what I mean? It was a tiny group of people who were orchestrating to do shit, as opposed to just horrific individuals. My vote is 2 more dumpster raccoons. Or are there many people working together? Like, you people wish you could. No one here has a problem working together, including me. My history is working with other people, getting a university degree, being employed in the workforce in various ways, being involved with Vancouver co-housing, being involved with my kids' schools, working with other people as I became more and more disabled and did 4 to 6 hours saving the world, doing solution raisings, having one-on-one conversations, continuing Vancouver co-housing as best I could until pandemic hit, school blew up, all the things that happened. I'm fake as fuck. People do see themselves projected into me. So if you see fakeness, I know what you are. It's actually kind of superpower of mine. Just have to hold up a mirror. People see Cowardly Grace and Car deserve each other. Nobody else wants them. Not a soul. Recognize that. I didn't until this moment because I blurred out that part, and that part is you recognize your friend's eyebrow in her car? All right. I'm gonna end this here. This is mean girl drama on our way to world peace, and at the same time, I'm not letting Car and Grace derail more than they have for the last 2 years. I'm creating backup. I'm creating the zero state solution to world peace here on this channel with whoever comes up on live, whoever's in the comments, if and when I can read them, with whatever verbal capacity I have when I'm able to go live. I will try to put out more of like the next live that I'm doing, which is have the generic thumbnail and generic title and spread far and wide. I don't care if I'm sold as an LOL cow. Look at this crazy person having a crazy breakdown all over the online. Yeah, crazy me. So crazy creating my world peace. The signs and symbols that look weird and people make fun of and showcase their ableism. People who will hopefully come and showcase how non-crazy, how non-dangerous I am, non-violent my history. That's the most violent thing about me is my tone. And I might look crazy, but Allie Priestley is the actual danger. And Car and Grace and people like them who are LOL cowing behind the scenes under faceless nameless accounts are also a grave danger, especially when they're lighting the fuse of Allie fucking Priestley. So I'm gonna go and I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to try to come on a little later so that if Autumn is a person of their word and wants to come on, they said they would try for May. So I'll try one day to go live a little later. I can't necessarily do it at a time, but I will put it up. It'll be scheduled for the day after tomorrow because that way if I don't remember to change the time and go live, I can still add the links. It's never the time posted. That's never happening, except for the very rare chance. Like with Allie after she called the police and we did the 6 a.m. one because I was like, bitch, again, fucking cunt. All right. Allie just insists on intertwining herself and claiming no. It's a fun little song that we've all created. I'm working as best I can not to put together the signs and symbols, but to put together the signs and symbols. Not cut the red strings because that'll happen in its right time. It is unfolding. Things are happening as we are interweaving our stories. But the putting together the bigger picture someone could maybe get of the Matrix, True Lies, Mean Girls, and all of the signs and symbols that if I ignored them would make me delusional. intertwined in my real life, right? Maybe with some of the receipts to the real world, like YouTube videos and IMDb profiles and things for people that are relevant, and maybe not. I will. We're like on season 5, 6 at this point. I don't know where you've been. I don't know if you've been, Car, but we're on like season 5. Maybe we're in your prequel, the Lynera. I don't know. Will you ever learn and grow? I thought you did, but no. Okay. Thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna put up a video, do the thing where you know when I'm going live, and I'll try to put them up regularly. That's what I was trying to say.